and who are the lawyers assisting this main lawyer whom he says is mocking human rights and the rule of law.
The palace spokesperson mentioned this after Commission on Human Rights Commissioner Roberto Cadiz claimed in a press conference on Monday that justice, human rights, and the rule of law are being mocked by a lawyer, aided and abetted by other lawyers. During the said conference held in Pasig City, Cadiz was quoted saying, "The country now has a president who openly advocates extrajudicial killings and who has been very successful in creating the narrative that human rights is an obstacle to his anti-drug campaign." Instead of dwelling on the issues, Roque during the palace briefing on Tuesday had this response.
Tomorrow, we are going to conduct our first press briefing in Marawi, and one of our tasks is to gather as many information on the cases that we can file against the members of the Mauti terrorist group for violations of the international humanitarian law, which is a domestic law implementing the second additional protocol to the Geneva Conventions, otherwise known as punishing war crimes committed in non-international armed conflicts.
The CHR has long been criticizing the government's war on drugs for allegedly targeting the minors and the poor, is deemed wrong for claiming that its primary mandate is to look after the abuses committed by state actors. According to Roque, he did not even hear the commission conducting any probe on the atrocities committed by the Islamic militants. Rather, it's always the abuses allegedly committed by the state agents, when in fact the palace official noted the international humanitarian law punishes everyone, even non-state actors. Roque added they will no longer wait for CHR's cooperation in the investigation into the atrocities perpetrated by the terrorists, since it is clear that they have other priorities. For GNN, the Global News Network, this is Honolin Bisco.
With the advent of digital age that changed the business and corporate landscape, the first and only career platform in the country exclusive for top-level positions was launched to address the technological challenge. Harleen Delgado has the report.
Technology has been transforming processes of different fields and areas. Especially in companies, human resource transversed from the traditional hiring to online platforms, making it challenging to find best of the best applicants. In response to the evolving age, on Tuesday, the first online career platform exclusive for senior managers and executives in the country called Tugi was launched in Taguig City. With the tagline, "The right people, the right careers," Tugi provides direct access to employers who are seeking top-level executives, and for employees who are in the managerial and executive positions seeking new opportunities.
Advantage of being assured of confidentiality, which is important to some of the people in the database, if not all of the people. And then you have the advantage of being able to save costs.
Unlike the existing online job platforms, Tugi only allows pre-screened members through its three-way membership process: registration, competency assessment, and corporate fit assessment. The Philippines' first online career platform for executives also caters high-level confidentiality, wherein employers may only be able to access profiles with the applicant's consent.
If the employer is interested to pursue talks with this individual, then he would send an invitation. Now, the individual has the option to either accept or decline the invitation. If he accepts, then it's a signal. It's like giving consent for the employer to actually download and view the full profile. So there's really strict confidentiality involved.
Started from a consultancy firm in 2009, the newest online career platform for executives prioritizes compatibility of not only skills and competencies, but also the personality of employees.
The thing is that you put in somebody who's very family-oriented and very traditional, but very good. Put him in an environment like that, where you encourage aggressiveness, then that person will have very difficult times to be able to succeed in that organization. Not because he lacks the competency, but there is no culture fit.
Moreover, the founders of Tugi said the online job platform also aims to encourage Filipino workers abroad to come back and fully maximize their opportunities in the country.
I'd also like to invite Filipino expats who've been working outside the country and give them opportunities to also come home and share their talents to the Philippines.
There are a lot of Filipinos who left the country not knowing much about business and industry, work in these countries for about 10-15 years, and would like to come back but could not because they don't know what's happening in the country. We'd like to give these Filipinos a chance to be able to connect and know what the opportunities are.
For GNN, the Global News Network, this is Harleen Delgado.
We separate politics from sports. This was the statement made by Hassan Al-Thawadi, Secretary General at Qatar Supreme Committee for Delivery and Legacy, urging the countries of Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, the United Arab Emirates, and Egypt to let their nationals attend the 2022 World Cup in Doha. The mentioned countries imposed diplomatic and trade boycott against Qatar, accusing it of financing terrorism, which Qatar denied. Timeline for the World Cup project meanwhile has not changed since the boycott was imposed, pushing Doha to find new suppliers of construction materials for the said projects. The Japan International Cooperation Agency recently announced Mitsubishi Corporation won the LRT-1 contract. Under this, they are mandated to supply 120 cars, while Social Security System disbursed 128 billion pesos for the benefit of its members in 9 months. Honilin Bisco has the business news.
The Japan International Cooperation Agency BIRD that Mitsubishi Corporation has won the Light Rail Transit Line 1 contract. This will allow the company to supply new rolling stocks approximated to reach 30 billion yen, a part of JICA's 43.252 billion yen official development assistance to the Philippines aimed at helping the country advance its transportation infrastructure. This contract is expected to be awarded by the Transportation Department to the company this week. Mitsubishi says it will supply 120 cars reportedly equivalent to 30 train sets manufactured by Spain's Construcciones y Auxiliar de Ferrocarriles, while equipment installed on the rolling stock designed to reduce greenhouse gas emissions will adopt Japanese technology and products. Once completed, the new course of LRT Line 1 is hoped to accommodate 1,388 passengers per train and more than double the number of running trains to 222. In other news, Social Security System announced that it has released almost 128 billion pesos in benefits in the first 9 months of 2017. This is 30.31% up from 98 billion pesos it has disbursed in the same period a year earlier. The increase was reportedly driven by the 1,000 peso hike in the monthly pension of member retirees. It was also revealed that the bulk of benefits released as of end September was accounted for by retirement benefits at 73.65 billion pesos, up 26.75% from 2016. Meantime, during the January to September period, the SSS claims its operating expenses slightly dropped to 6.48 billion pesos, bringing total expenditures in the first 9 months to 134.26 billion pesos. For the news in business and economy, Honilin Bisco.
Germany has been plunged into political crisis after coalition talks between Chancellor Angela Merkel's Christian Democrats and two smaller parties broke down. Analysts say the indecisive election result in September has revealed a splintering of German society and politics, posing a serious challenge to Chancellor Merkel. As Henry Ridgwell reports from London, the political chaos could have a much wider impact on issues like climate talks and European Union reform.
After 12 years as Europe's most powerful politician, Angela Merkel's political power appears to be waning after talks to form a coalition government with the Greens and the Free Democrats broke down.
Ich als Bundeskanzlerin, als geschäftsführende Bundeskanzlerin,
I will do everything possible as transitional chancellor to ensure that this country will be well led through these difficult weeks.
So what happens next? Merkel's Christian Democrats could approach their previous governing partners, the Social Democrats, but so far they have ruled out another grand coalition. Merkel told a German TV station she would prefer new elections to forming a minority government.
There's never been a minority government in post-war Germany so far. It is possible. The CDU could do it. The Free Democrats this morning already said they would support it in case it would happen. So I think it is possible. The question is really, does Merkel want to do this?
Merkel said she would run again for Chancellor if there were new elections, but that could backfire. The far-right anti-migrant Alternative for Germany, or AfD party, gained almost 13% of the vote in September. They sense further gains.
It is very probable that the AfD will get stronger, that actually would be even more difficult to form a government.
Germany took in over 1 million asylum seekers at the height of Europe's migrant crisis in 2015, an issue that continues to be Merkel's electoral Achilles heel. It is reported the coalition talks broke down partly over the right of migrants to bring family members to Germany.
It will also be or remain a very important issue in the future, because the issue of migration won't disappear, and she and her successors will have to deal with that as well.
The stalemate will have wider implications.
Germany, for the next couple of months, will be more inward-looking. They will have to deal with domestic political issues, finding a governing coalition, and will not be able to intervene politically in issues such as the Brexit affair or Eurozone reform to the extent others might have hoped.
French President Emmanuel Macron, who hoped to drive EU reform alongside Merkel, has expressed concern at the German stalemate. Analysts say it's part of an established pattern.
Germany is basically part of this larger shift in Western democracies, that you have fragmentation of parties, that you have increasing instability.
While Angela Merkel remains Germany's interim chancellor, she is struggling to find a way forward, just as Europe seeks strong leadership to steer it out of recent crises. Henry Richwell for VOA News, London.
Beyoncé Knowles is the highest paid woman in music this 2017, according to the annual Forbes list. Meanwhile, American actor Nick Nolte was honored on the Hollywood Walk of Fame for his 5 decades in the industry. April Sedosa has the entertainment news.
The Forbes list has recognized singer-songwriter Beyoncé Knowles Carter as the highest-paid woman in music this 2017 because of her hit album Lemonade and her world tour. According to Forbes, the singer earned $105 million in her record sales and Formation concert tour. She defeated famous singers Adele and Taylor Swift, who earned $69 million and $44 million respectively. The Forbes list was released after estimating pre-tax income from June 2016 to 2017, and it was also based on the data from the Pollstar, the Recording Industry Association of America, and tracking firm Nielsen SoundScan. In other news, 76-year-old American actor Nick Nolte was crowned the King of Hollywood with a star on the iconic Walk of Fame. The actor was recognized for his 5 decades in the film industry, which he gained 3 Oscar nominations. Nolte also received an Emmy nomination for Outstanding Lead Actor in the 1976 ABC miniseries Rich Man, Poor Man. Meanwhile, director Gavin O'Connor described him as a humble person, a master of his craft, and a great listener. For entertainment news, this is April Senedoza.
Here's a recap of today's headlines.
Here are today's headlines. Transportation Department files raps against former government officials over MRT3 mess anew. Foreign Department says warm relations between China and the Philippines won't affect legal victory on Sea Row. President Rodrigo Duterte offers China 3rd telecom carrier slot. SWS survey reveals 60% of Filipinos ready to help victims of Marawi crisis. Analysts say Germany political chaos as sign Chancellor Angela Merkel's power is waning. Forbes names Beyoncé as 2017's highest paid woman in music. Fair and balanced news, comprehensive reports that take you to the heart of the action. This is News Force.
And those were the top stories of the day. Stay updated on the day's biggest stories. Follow us on Facebook at Global News Network Official and get updates on our new website, GNNTV.com.ph. We will continue to bring you fair, balanced, and comprehensive reports. I am Rach Marquez, and this is News Force.
Ang sarap maging malaya. Makakagala ka kung kailan mo gusto. Makakapag-surf ng mga bagong ideya. Sky's the limit, ika nga. Pero sa totoo lang, malaya na nga ba talaga tayo? O nagpapalit-palit lang ng mukha yung mananakop? Dahil ang pagiging malaya ay hindi lang nakikita sa kakayahan mong magreklamo ng hindi nakukulong, sa kapasidad mong makuha ang bago o makasakay sa uso. Ang tunay na paglaya ay nasa pagkakaroon ng malawak na kamalayan, sa kakayahang umunlad ng hindi naman nalulumpo sa kakatrabaho, sa kakayahan mong makasabay pagdating sa oportunidad. Be all you can be ayon sa mga kano. Dahil kung sila ay may American dream, tayo dapat meron din. Pero bakit parang ang pag-unlad sa atin ang hirap matamasa? At kung madali, bakit parang nakalaan lang sa iilan? Saan nga ba nadiskaril ang dapat sana ay tuluyan nating paglaya? Yung sama-sama. Kung tutuusin, nagkaroon naman tayo ng magandang simula nang umigpaw ang kamalayang Pinoy. Nagising tayo sa katotohanang meron tayong iisang lahi, iisang bayan, na tayo ay Pilipino at atin ang Pilipinas. Yun nga lang, mula doon, iba-iba na naging diskarte. Nagsasama-sama lang muli tayo, nagkakaisa ng damdamin pag may kalaban. Sa hinaba-haba ng kasaysayan, pagkatapos maitawid ang ipinaglalaban, kanya-kanya na muli ng pakikipag-unahan, kanya-kanyang pag-aabuso sa napanalunan, simula lider hanggang ordinaryong mamamayan. Sari-sariling diskarte sa pagyaman, walang pakialam kung may matapakan. Para bang masaya pa sa ugaling gulangan at talo-talo na pag di na mapakinabangan. Paano nga ba natin nasisikmura ang magpakapusog sa ambisyon habang milyon-milyon ng gutom? Ang manira imbis na bumuo. At kung may nagawa man, bitin. Paulit-ulit na lang ba? Ang nakasanayan sa politika, yun at yun din. Hibang, di ba? May tawag dyan, political insanity. Ano bang napapala natin dito sa lumang paraan? Sa panandaliang palakpakan at plastikan sa tuwing tayo'y kinaiinggitan? At ano na ang nangyari sa tinatawag nating bayanihan? Maraming katanungan, pero lahat ito maliliwanagan kung iigpaw muli ang kamalayang Pinoy. Isang bagong kamalayang Pinoy kung saan nananaig ang tamang paraan, kung saan una ang bayan dahil ang may malawak na kamalayan ay namumuhay ng may konsyensya, ng may pakialam sa kapwa. Kasi alam niya mga umaangat na mag-isa madaling mahila pababa. Pero pag sabay-sabay ang pag-unlad, nagkakaroon ng suporta mula sa kasama. Mahigit 100 taong na mula nang magising ang ating kamalayang Pinoy. Pukawin muli natin ito ngayon. Tandaang walang bansa at lahing maunlad ang nakatikim ng kasaganahan nang hindi ito pinaghihirapan, nang hindi ito pinagkaisahan. Tama na ang kahibangan sa yaman at kapangyarihan. Nakakasawa na. Magbago na tayo. Imbis na political insanity, political unity. Pag-ugnayin at ipagpatuloy ang maaayos na programa kahit nagpapalit tayo ng leaders. Imbis na mangarap para sa posisyon, mangarap para sa bayan. Imbis na siraan at gantihan, pagkakaisa. Imbis na dungis ang iwan, tangal. imbis na mas malaking problema, solusyon, para walang napag-iiwanan, para hindi tayo magpamana ng kahihiyan. Matuto tayong tumahak sa tamang daan at pagkaisahan ang pagbabago. Gaano man kasikip ang kalsada, kung sama-sama, kayang gumawa ng bagong daraan. Pansin mo, pag nanood ka ng concert, ang lakas ng dating. Ibang enerhiya pag sama-sama. Pag sama-sama, maraming ideya. Pag sama-sama, malawak ang pangunawa. Pag sama-sama, may paninindigan. Pag sama-sama, kayang-kaya. Kaya makibahagi sa pagbabago. Yan ang daan sa paglaya, kung saan lahat makikinabang. Lahat nasa tamang daan. Lahat umaalalay sa isa't isa. Nagagawa naman natin ito, di ba? Yan ang tulong-tulong. Sama-sama. Bakit hindi natin araw-arawin? Bakit hindi natin panindigan? Ngayon na, ituloy na natin ang paglaya. Paigpawin ang bagong kamalayang Pinoy. Buuin ang isang Pinas. Now na!
Hot and stylish fashion items for women.
And the unique products for men.
Be in your top shape with health and wellness.
Grab and get with your Get Go gadgets.
Be anywhere around the world with easy travel.
Brighten someone's day with our gifts and souvenirs.
Amazing items for our precious pets.
Road safety essentials with our automotive parts.
Make your everyday living worthwhile with Home and Living.
Special gifts for our little ones and kids.
Shop anytime, anywhere.
Complete your shopping experience with our nationwide free shipping with no minimum amount needed.
Online shopping experience has never been this good with quality products and fast transactions. Easy Mall is all you need.
Easy does it!
For more details, please call your travel agents or visit China Airlines website at www.china-airlines.com.
This program is rated PG. It contains themes and scenes which may not be suitable for very young audiences. Parental guidance is advised.
Be advised that the views and opinions of the hosts and guests do not reflect those of the station.
Namin, Sitio Maligaya 2, San Vicente, San Pedro, Laguna.
Siyempre, alam mo naman, ganitong lugar, squatter area, tabing release, dikit-dikit ang bahay.
Madilim talaga rito sa lugar ko na to.
Wala kami dito sa loob, lagi kami sa labas. Nadadapa kasi madilim, yung dadaan mo, hindi mo alam, may nakaharang.
Tutulog na lang ako, wala ilaw eh.
Ang tawag nila sa akin dito si Mang Dimi Solar. Napaliwanag ko yung mga bahay nila magdilim. Bubutas ka ng yero, lalagay mo yung bote, lagyan mo siya ng sealant, bago lagyan mo siya ng tubig na mineral, lalagyan ng sunrops. Bago kabit mo sa bahay, lagyan sealant mo para hindi tumulo. Gano'n lang kasimple yun. Dati yung ganito, tukadilim nung bago ko pagkapitan. Ngayon, nung kapitan ko na, ito na ang liwanag niya. May naliwanag.
Pumili po ako kasi bote lang, tubig. Maliwanag na yung bahay mo.
Bumaba yung ano ko, binayaran ko ngayon. Simula rin makabitan ako nito. At saka itong solar bottle bulb na to, hindi mainit.
Dahil sa bote na yan, sa solar na bote na yan, gumanda ang araw namin.
Ang nalagyan na namin ito ay bali 643. Gusto nga namin tuloy-tuloy para marami nga matulungan ng mga tao rin na yung maliwanagan mga bahay nila madidilim.
Parang katulad na rin ng bumbilya. Dati natin nakakalimutan at pakinabangan na ngayon. Maliwanag yan sa bahay namin!
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Global Village. I'm Buddy Kunana. Now, you know, folks, in this show, we take you around the world and you learn about different cultures and societies. We also talk about topics that impact the global community, and especially those that highlight the Filipinos' connectivity to the rest of the world. Now, you know, folks, tonight is a very special show because we are going to talk about an NGO and a movement that started in the Philippines and is now in over 30 countries all over the world. Joining us to talk about My Shelter Foundation and the Leader of Light movement are those is that NGO and movement's founder, the dapper and debonair and dashing Ilak Ancelotti Diaz. Hello, Ilak, and welcome to our show, Global
Buddy,
Village, man.
Thank you for inviting me. I've been catching your shows, but you know, one of the things that you might not know is when the concept of Filipino nonprofit being able to expand around the world. At that time, when I was talking about, you know, it has to be simple tech that can be built by the community. I mean, how else will a Filipino NGO grow? But it had to be something open source. It had to be something new. We started here in GNN.
Oh, really?
GNN was the first one that actually gave me a space to tell my story, because I was talking about plastic bottles and I was talking about alternative construction, and this was really new, social entrepreneur at that time. And GNN was the first one to open their doors.
Bravo, bravo. So it's like you're coming home.
Yeah,
like a homecoming for you, huh?
I was saying, you know, years ago, nobody would have thought that a Filipino organization would have really gone to the dream, which was we wanted to show that we're not just a beneficiary.
Yeah,
we could also be a global benefactor.
Contribute something to the rest of the world. But you know, I'm so glad we finally corralled you, and I say corralled because you know, people who follow your social media and your friends, you know, you're here, there, and everywhere. I mean, one day you're in Latin America, the next day you're in China, then you're giving a speech in Dubai, and so finally, after so many months. We got you here in GNN and you're ours for an hour.
Because you are also hard to corral. So yeah, it's moving pieces, 2 moving pieces, not just one. Huh?
Okay, Ilak, you know, you're very famous guy these days. You've been all around, you've been in the news, but for people who don't know you yet, let's give a little background. Who is Ilak Ancelotti Diaz? Now, to start, you are the son of the very famous Silvana Diaz. Correct me if I'm wrong.
So my mom was one of the... I always grew up in an art gallery, and this is contemporary art. My mom was one of the first ones to put up a contemporary art or modern art gallery in the country. So,
Galleria Duemila.
Galleria Duemila never had less than 1,000 artworks, you know, in the house, just moving. At that time also, because contemporary art was, some would move and some would not. But she also, you know, was very strong with young artists. So this would keep a lot of the stock there. But I would come home and there was sketching. It was a very fantastic place to grow up, full of music, because the artists are also musicians.
For sure.
Full of art, and so I couldn't have grown up in a better household.
And understand that you are also from a family of beauty queens.
I'm not a beauty queen, but I do respect that. No, it's so funny. Yeah, no, I mean, you're talking about Rio.
Yes, of course, the Diaz sisters
Gloria,
and girls
but
are
each
famous.
and every one of that have their own competing talents. So when beauty is not one, it's beauty and cooking. So we have, you know, great cooks, great businesswomen. So it's a very interesting. You know, 10 professors out there.
Very nice.
Each a leader in their field. So but I also have 36 cousins. So it's between the United Nations and you know, my 10 amazing aunties.
Very good, very good. Now, I mean, you obviously have made a mark, and a big mark in social entrepreneurship, especially focusing on this NGO you set up and this global movement, really, Litter of Life, no? What led you on the road to social entrepreneurship? Are you the only social entrepreneur in your family, or are there others?
Well, there's my father is the first social entrepreneur. Just kidding.
Okay, there is a difference. There is a difference.
No. So I think I loved from my grandfather.
Yeah.
He was the one who really had, you know, he was one of the people that first established a very strong paper industry here. So he started with bicycles in La Union and was able to build up really a large-scale business. In fact, one of the largest paper suppliers here in the country.
Yeah.
And he, you know, I would always see him have a very generous heart. He would be one that talks about success, but always defines it as something that, you know, brings as many people along with you as possible. In fact, my brother, who is not, you know, from my, you know, from the same blood, my father and grandfather saw a young boy outside our office, outside my parents' office and my grandfather's office in Intramuros. And the 7 children could not live in the box. So this young kid was having worms and, you know, he was living outside. And one day my father just said, this is not something that can be done. Of course, with my grandfather. And picked up the boy, and until today, he's my brother. He grew up in my house. So it's that kind of family where, you know, it's not us and them. It's not higher walls. In fact, it's lowering the walls. It's providing food. So there's a really generosity. But I think my role was really, I felt that through all the Diaz family, I could really build a good career in social enterprise. And I say social enterprise because burning money was something that was not working. You know, with all the bilateral agreements, donations, you could see that poverty was rising. You needed both ways, an economic front, so that there's a trickle down, but also you needed social enterprises to use their money well, to grow in influence, but also within certain rules, right? You know, for example, for us, I cannot touch the equity. I can only touch, you know, my salary. So these kind of things was really intriguing for me. But I also want to tell you the truth that I had to work, you know, or I still have to work for the family, but I love social enterprise.
Absolutely.
So there's also something here that I also had, you know, to be very frank, I had good economic footing for me to be able to take the second one. So I don't want to mince words because everybody says, you know, I started from scratch. I didn't. I had a very supportive family.
I mean, you didn't have to worry about making a living.
Right,
to
right,
be very frank about it, which gave you the time to get into this.
I didn't get scared. I was just scared to go try something new out.
That could not be profitable.
Because of you know, both the support and love of my family, but also I did have, not to say that, you know, they were just giving me money, but I was also working within the family to make money. And of course, the showbizy things that
I mean, I remember.
We will not mention that, or are
in your younger days. Okay, let's talk about My Shelter Foundation, and you set this up a few years ago, and it became very successful. Tell us about this foundation of yours.
So the My Shelter was really this inspiration I had. Well, it was a forced inspiration. More like, you know, like a serendipity, where I was basically walking around Intramuros for my Masters of Entrepreneurship. And you had to come up with a paper that says, while you're walking around, what kind of business opportunities could you get? So it was trying to bring people out of the offices and out of their think tanks and their silos to say that there are business opportunities out there that you don't even know about. And so I would walk around Intramuros and Luneta, and I would see really that there would be these thousands of seafarers over there waiting for their jobs. And so that one I said, wow, how much are you paying for your transport, sir? We're spending around 50 pesos, and it's taking us an hour and a half to get to the center of the maritime area. And so from there I said, wait a minute, our office is just in Intramuros. Why not start, you know, we have a big warehouse there. Why not convert that into a $2 per night?
Like a dorm.
Like a dorm.
Okay.
And that one hit about 2,000 beds.
Okay.
And so that's when I realized that you don't have to go poor to be able to help people. I could have taken that dorm and made it into a tourist, you know, a tourist area and charged, you know, tourists that were coming in. But I was really saying, look, the economic miracle of the country comes from these workers. But how come they're letting them stay out in the sun? And how come they're letting them wait for all this time here in Manila? So from there, I started looking into alternative housing. Then we started building schools in where those seafarers are, like bamboo schools in areas that, you know, these islands, and then earthen schools. And so slowly was formed My Shelter Foundation. And then I realized, I said, I'm not into the alternative school vision as much as I started realizing at that time the change in climate. Because when I was building these schools, I realized that no matter how fast I was building them out of alternative materials, there would be schools built in the 1960s and of course even designed in the 1960s and still being replicated now, that was being blown away by growing typhoons. And that was the start really of my shift of My Shelter from just an alternative housing into you know, architecturally resilient kind of vision. So that's where I started putting two visions together. One is I worked with the United Architects of the Philippines to come up with a competition after Ondoy. And he says, look, what will happen when cities get flooded so often? With populations reaching at that time, I said more than 10 million Filipinos in Metro Manila, more than 50% flooded. How are we going to live in a place where it gets flooded at least 1 week and it's flooded, electricity goes out, water goes out? How will that happen when most of the places that they're building is actually in low-lying areas that are getting flooded? So that was the vision. And then in the rural areas, look at these people, they're going to be the first hit. How are they going to live in safer shelters? So that was what started the My Shelter.
So how did you segue from that, from typhoon or natural disaster resilient construction in homes to Litter of Light, which is the next phase?
So the next phase was really when people started using this infrastructure that I was building, you know, these earthen classrooms, these plastic as shelters. So I was thinking, wait a minute. I realized that it was not just the safety, but the fact that we needed one of the largest emergency solar lighting systems that was not built yet. How can we create emergency lights for people when a typhoon strikes? It knocks out cities, it knocks out rural areas, but women were getting raped. There was also, you know, people getting robbed, but also tent areas where people were living without light. So I was thinking, we need some kind of we're getting hit by these massive typhoons and the lights are going out, you know, the posts are all out.
Sure. I mean, they'll go down like that.
And, you know, we're talking about months before it comes back, but these people have to suffer in darkness. So I said, not only do we have to build a safe shelter, but we need to find an emergency solar lighting system. So Litter of Light started really as, you know, an emergency solar lighting system, but it also had to be translatable into something that, how can we expand this during times that it's not typhoon? But when the typhoon comes, they'll be able to use it.
Ilak, I recall a few years ago, you came out with this, before this whole solar thing took off with you and Litter of Light, you first promoted, like, you know, these PET bottles stuck on roofs that provided light during the day.
Yeah.
And we showed a video earlier, and it's filled with water and bleach and that kind of thing. Was that the first thing that came before the whole solar thing?
No, actually, that was the big problem that I was facing. People did not have money to be able to purchase night lights. And you know why? Because when you start bringing these kind of night lights, these solar lights into the country, I found out that almost 60% of your costs is not just putting them in container vans, bringing them from India or from China, putting them in, you know, storing them in their containers for transport.
Yeah.
And then by the time you reach there, you know, I only have, as I said, you know, 40% of my funds left to buy these lights.
Oh, wow.
Because logistics pays such an important, or eats so much money in the humanitarian field.
Yeah.
So I said, why not start building it locally so that I can build more? So why don't I just, you know, instead of the green economy being in those ones with, you know, how do you call it, manufacturing, why can't we build a hand-built solar lighting movement here? But going back, it was so expensive that I said, instead of people buying it because it's so expensive through microcredit, and then it breaks down in a year and a half. Remember, it's so expensive to bring it in that they start using cheap nickel cadmium batteries inside. It's meant to fail because the real business project there is that they keep on buying it over time.
Yes.
It's not meant to last.
Yes.
So what I said is, why not just building here? That way it can be repaired.
You cut on the logistic cost.
Cut on the logistic cost, use what's available here, and then expand on that so that people will be able to replicate it here. Because you know, the simple thing that I realized coming from the Philippines is I cannot have a business model where it goes all through me. I have to decentralize it. So the more people knew about it, the more that I can expand, and of course that one later on expands. So anyway, the bottle light, the one of water, is actually a strategic way to enter into the person's home and say, look, you don't have the money to buy the night light, right?
Yes.
But let's get there. So because of this bottle of water bleach, which lets light in during the night, it might look simple, but they save about $5 to $10 in the next 2 months. And from there, I said, okay, may pera ka ng savings.
Okay.
Get it from savings and not from not from credit.
Yeah.
So that way, I could build a stronger cash flow to be able to fund my nightlight. And then when you come back there and they love it and they said, okay, do you want to now buy yung panggabi? Do you want to upgrade it to a nightlight? So that became how I did it. Create the cash flow and then sell the product rather than bring in the product na
Makes
super
sense.
mahal and then later on ask them to go into microcredit. And even worse, you know that you have a project that when it breaks, there's no way for the locals to, and they have to go through the cycle again.
This way, you know, it can be repaired locally, it can be sourced locally, and then, as you said, you know, bring in the cash flow first. So at least it's a going concern. You know, it's sustainable.
But the nightlight was such a hit. People couldn't believe.
No, yeah, absolutely. It was such a novel concept. A little, you know, how simple.
That I could not explain the second one. So it happened at the same time.
Yeah.
That thing was supposed to be what you would call in business a loss leader.
Yeah.
So that was supposed to help me enter into their homes. Like, you know, we would put maybe 100 to 200 in a village where they don't trust you. They don't want to engage with you. They've never seen you. Suddenly, the whole concept of daylighting is in that whole village where they can, you know, go around or work, you know, better at night in their sari-sari stores and save money. You know, they do, if it's not bulbs, it's candles. They have to engage during the day.
Yeah.
And then you come back and say, okay, do you want to go night? Do you want to go, you know, you
that's
want,
where the solar thing
upgrade
comes in with the
So
batteries.
that's where the solar. So a lot of people loved so much the daylight that people didn't really realize that that was actually a strategic way for me to enter, to create new leads or new customers, but at the same time create also a cash flow.
Okay, you talk about customers. Is this okay? Does this mean that it is a business on your end, or how does it work? How does your foundation, how does Liter of Light work, so that at least it's sustainable on the ground?
So there's two things how we operate. One is we have a cash flow model, where we go into corporates, into schools, into private events, and we ask them to be able to build a light. Of course, we raise the amount. So let's say if it costs 700, you charge them 1,400, 1,500 to cover expenses. But you spend the day teaching them how to make the solar lights, how to assemble them. Then later on, you bring this group out and they go to the community and give it. In a time of post-Napoles, transparency is so important to us. The fact that they understand that the lights actually work. You know, you don't give me money and then you leave it to us for us to give it. So we actually make people make it, and then we bring them and say, look, come with us to the village and you give it. So we really try to use, well, first of all, we try to actually go away from awareness. Everybody knows what awareness is. There's campaigns for awareness, but you have to move it into actual solutions. You know, stop the PowerPoint. Stop. You know, we need that there is some kind of, for me, in some areas, a technical solution. But we pass them through the whole package. We bring it in parts. You make it. You come with us to the village and you install it. This has been proved very profitable for us because we're able to get lots of clients who believe in that. The second one, which is more, so this is more of a in-city. For the rural for the rural areas, we sort of have a what is like a microcredit kind of system, but not the same. We actually make available parts and materials where you can, you know, you can get in advance 5, 10, 100, 200 pieces. Then you can make it in your house and sell it.
As a small business.
And then when you sell it, you pay me back my capital costs plus, let's say, a 20% well, I buy it wholesale, so I get really low. So I get back the money.
Excellent. Ilak, hold that thought, because when you come back, we have pause for a break. When you come back, we'll talk about more the model and how you guys are viraling this model, not just in the Philippines, but all over the world. And we'll also talk about your foundation's role in helping the people of Tacloban, people related during Typhoon Haiyan. So guys, stick around because more of solar power to the people when Global Village returns.
Good news po para sa lahat ng subscribers ng Cable TV at Cable Internet. Naisa batas na po ang Anti-Cable Television and Cable Internet Tapping Act of 2013. At ayon dito, bawal makitabit ng Cable TV at Cable Internet. Ang parusa sa sino mang lumabag sa batas na ito ay pagkakakulong at pagbabayad ng malaking multa. Bayad ka na nga, kulong ka pa. Kim Atienza po, nagsasabing pagdating sa batas, hindi weather-weather lang.
Huwag maging kabit. Supported by the PCTA.
Itinatag ang Montreal Protocol upang pangalagaan ang ozone layer. Ito'y naging matagumpay dahil sa pagtutulungan ng mga bansa. Ngunit marami pa rin gumagamit ng mga aircon na mayroong HCFC o hydrochlorofluorocarbons dito sa Pilipinas. Tayo nagtumulong sa pagbawas ng masamang kemikal na ito. Pumili ng HCFC-free air conditioners. Ito'y mabuti sa kapaligiran at mas matipid pa sa kuryente. HCFC-free air conditioners. Mas magaang sa planeta, mas magaang pa sa bulsa.
Well, ito nga isang pinapangarap namin sa yung mga taong nandito ngayon na magkaroon ng kahit kaunting ilaw na kasi mga ilang araw na rin kami nagtitiis sa dilim. So ito sa tingin ko mga tao yun, so excited sila makita ng gabi may liwanag naman ng kahit kaunti. Well, una, hindi ko inisip kung ano man ang naging epekto sa akin ng bagyong yun. Ang ano lang dito, may katungkulan ako, responsibilidad sa barangay dahil ako nga yung barangay chairman dito. So, ang una lang, ang ano ko na lang dyan is tinanggap namin kung anong nangyari at bawat tulong naman kahit gaano kalaki, gaano kaliit, niyayakap namin.
Dito halo-halo kami. Merong mga taga-ibang barangay, merong taga-ibang barangay at meron ding hindi taga-barangay namin na nakahalo dito sa amin.
Welcome back to Global Village. I'm Buddy Kunana. Tonight's topic is solar power to the people. And joining us still is the founder and executive director of My Shelter and the Leader of Light Movement, Ilak Ancelotti Diaz. Ilak, welcome back to the second segment. Now, let's talk about, let's pick up from where we left off. So basically, for this thing to set up, your Leader of Light project, it can either be through corporate sponsors, where a company will adopt this project, let's say as part of their corporate social responsibility, or number two, a community can get together and start this as a business.
Yes.
Those are two things.
For us, I would call it more as an extension business because we really choose women cooperatives that already have a product line, already organized. Okay. So let's say they have basket weaving, they have already like pottery.
So it's like an add-on.
So you add it on. That way, it's easier for me not to treat it as a startup. There's a little bit of a loss leader, but I can also match it, no? But later on, as it grows, I just found out that these are the target cooperatives that I do instead of a very high startup. You know about startup failure rates. It's very high.
Yeah.
We're talking, really 3 or 4, especially in women cooperatives, 3 or 4 out of 5 products fail because, for a variety of reasons. But if it's already a cooperative that already has their storefront,
they have a structure, they have an income flow, a cash flow already.
It's so much easier for us to do so.
What role does your foundation play, let's say, in this whole, in the operations? I mean, where do you come in? Because you already have, let's say, the cooperatives on the ground who are doing it. What do you provide? What does your My Shelter / Leader of Light give?
So you're talking about 20 million Filipinos in the country.
Yeah, just here. Yeah.
You're talking, just here.
Yeah.
And plus, you're not even multiplying, the birth rates that is coming into this. You're talking about women and children that, that suffocate because of these harmful fumes that come out of not only cooking, but also kerosene lamps, this kind of dirty energy. They're the ones most affected by the lack of access to electricity. But also the fact that, there is no way for one NGO to play the messiah here. You don't want to, first of all, do short term. So sometimes when you're a manager for some kind of foundation, corporate foundation or private foundation, you want to get results right away. So you just buy imported lights, you give it to them without realizing the inherent fact that the business model is for it to break. You had 1 million pesos. You spent on your 1 million pesos on, 50% of it just logistics and shipping, and then it'll break in a year and a half.
That's it.
So that's it. What we're trying to say is, what's the long term? So the long term is open source. Open source DIY. You must create not only knowledge but industry in the grassroots. If you have one product per town, why not create? Energy is one of the largest tick items on your budget every day, every month. Every day, but the thing there is, why not create a new energy economy. Why not create it? But you cannot control it. This is the bottom of the pyramid. These are people that live in 7,100 islands. So the only way to do it is to create a decentralized structure. So as I'm talking to you about this, people are reinventing it. People are finding out suppliers. People are copying it.
Okay. So from the start, at the start, you provide the initial support and the supply, but then people actually, they're open and they're free to source their stuff elsewhere. It's up to them, basically.
Well, my vision was to create, the world's largest grassroots solar lighting movement. And I come from a country where, expanding such a thing is not even, considered. It's like, you're successful in one village, you're successful there, but no Filipino organization would be as audacious, your big hairy goal, to do a global foundation. And I said, I want to see one of it. I'm not going to be the only one, and I'm sure there's other ones, but I wanted to see in my lifetime what it felt to step into Masdar, to step into, universities abroad, to be able to speak in the UN, and people recognize you not as a beneficiary, not begging, not talking about another tragedy, but saying, look, Filipinos are contributing to global humanitarian standards.
And so now,
standard of living.
Litter of Light is in 30 countries and counting. It's over 30 countries, and as I understand, it's a different model for each country.
Right.
It's not the same setup for each country. Other countries have probably tweaked your original product, have now innovated or modified, depending on social on local situation.
Yeah, I mean, in Morocco we use pottery. So we use potteries there because we want to build. Remember, we want to build sustainable green economies using this kind of open source. We, as a foundation, we give money, but we can only go so far. So we really believe in looking what's available there. In Brazil, they still do plastic bottle for solar lightings. In Nepal, they use basket weaving. So it's what's available there. So the Litter of Light basically started out with that bottle in the roof, but the second product, once you save, what is the local economy and how can we build up already a skill, and then just put in a power technology into that traditional skill.
Ilak, I want to show people and our viewers exactly what kind of social impact you guys have had, and the best example I can think of is what you guys did in Haiyan, in Leyte, and I think we have a video from Litter of Light that we will show now, that will show exactly what you guys did over there and how you helped so many people.
And going back to why it was done, like how do you create one of the quickest way where people, remember I talk about corporations, it's not just the money that I get from that to expand it, but also I'm creating an army of solar engineers that once disaster strikes,
here we go.
I can tap them. I have a database
they can
thousands of them.
And they can be deployed and all that. So let's watch
I have a warehouse.
Yeah, let's watch this video, guys.
Together.
There we go. Litter of Light in Leyte for Typhoon Haiyan.
We need shelter, food, light.
Ang mga grupo ay nag-iyagan sa gabi, mahirap makabili ng petrolyo.
mayroon ng hope sa dami nung pumutulong sa amin and then their light. Tapos andito na po, hawak-hawak ko na po.
Bravo Tahoe, Ilac. A nice video, and I'm glad we showed it because we've been talking about litter of light, litter of light.
Yeah. Why is it a litter?
Why is it called a litter? And now finally people saw that it's actually a litter bottle of your sponsor, Pepsi Cola.
Pepsi is actually started out really with, of course, building plastic bottle schools. But then when their plant was completely destroyed, they went up and said, how can we help Tacloban? And you have to realize that these people, even the people there, the bottlers, PCPPI, was also in the midst of getting into their feet. I mean, the whole plant, all of these are built right next to the coastal areas.
Sure.
And I said, how many bottles do you have? And then they said, a factory of bottles.
A million.
A million. So I said, can I take it? And they said, we're not producing anything there after that. So that's why it looks so simple, with water. But instead of the roof, just give it to them for their tents. We use, straws. We use, we use the gas hose of the banqueros because we found like tons of them in shops. Of course, nobody was buying it. And he said, we can actually make this happen. We were using e-cigarette batteries, computer batteries, anything that we could do, put it in a PV pipe. It might look funny that people are, but when you have absolutely no light, that thing is
the most important thing, there is light. That's it. It could be in a Mickey Mouse.
That one LED that we bought from Cebu in Saco, actually, will keep them through, what was that, 8 months without light? I can imagine, the whole TESDA, TESDA, the technical center, was full of plastic bottle water lights, so they can help out.
And I saw multiple uses. I saw something that looked like a street light that you've converted in.
Right, that one's dry naman.
Yeah.
So we use, in the bottle, we use like a waterproof tube or test tube. Usually use glass test tube to put it in so it doesn't get problems. But we also have PVC. As I said, we use bamboo, we use PVC, whatever we can get. But it's really this thing about, how do we make solar an industry, a green industry of the people, and not be able to tell people like, this is what we produce in scale, massive scale, no matter if you're the end user or not, but this is what we do produce in the factory and everybody else just buy it. If you want to modify it, well, we don't sell it.
Talk about modification in a few moments. We have paused for another break, but when we come back, your colleague, Alfred Caras, is going to join us, and we're going to actually show the audience an innovative product of Litter of Light, and this time not in a PET bottle, but actually in a lantern, and we'll do it here. So guys, stick around because more of Litter of Light and solar power to the people when Global Village returns.
Chismis, may TV si Mang Ben. Tama na ang chismis. Pag nag-toast, TV nagagamot. Anak na buwang gamutan, tutok sa pag-inom. Araw-araw at healthy lifestyle, ipailan. Tutok nag-dance every day. Kasi LC ang way. Hala, ikalat ang balita. Si Mang Ben gumaling na. That's okay talaga. Ibalita sa a factory line. I'll ride across the park, backseat on the 79. Wasted days you come to pass. So go, I know you would not stay. It wasn't true, but anyway, condemnation get no cash.
Welcome back to Global Village. I'm Buddy Cunanan. Tonight's topic is solar light, solar power to the people. And joining us still is Ilak Ancelotti Diaz. He's the founder and CEO of My Shelter Foundation and Liter of Light Movement. And joining us also is My Shelter Liter of Light Foundation's technical head, Alfred Caras. Alfred, welcome to Global Village. Of course, Ilak. Now, nice video again. We saw how easy it is to make the original Liter of Light, the first one that came out. And now we're going to talk about how it's innovated, it's changed. And in front of us, Ilak, we have these materials. And starting with, in front of you, what looks like a traditional kerosene lantern.
And it is a traditional.
Okay.
It is a traditional kerosene lamp. But you know what's really interesting is, do you know that there are 35 million plus of this in the Philippines already?
Wow.
So once again, you know, Liter of Light is not just about the plastic bottle. What it is looking how to transfer technology in. That way, the change is decentralized. And how do you do something? You know, you cannot build a solar movement from the bottom up. Or you cannot make a villager be able to assemble it, or women cooperative be able to maintain a business model out of it, then it's not going to be sustainable. It will be just a death cycle of buying solar lamps that breaks.
And it's dangerous, it's unhealthy,
well,
right?
The other
With the
thing
fumes
is,
and all that.
it's one of the cheapest forms of lighting, but also one of the most deadly in terms of the amount of toxic fumes. The volume, in small, put together, the amount of damage that's causing health to women and children is on a massive level. And so what we're saying is not to vilify the fact that, the kerosene lamp is already out there. It's just, how do you trade that in? How do you make a business model of people trading something in and us exchanging that into something that is positive, give more than 5 times the light, and can last for the next 5 years.
Wait, so you mean tell me people who have these old kerosene lanterns or lamps, they can trade it and give it to you guys, and you give them in exchange something like this?
No, you take the same one, you clean it out.
Oh, and then you fix it. You put all the stuff inside, and
you take out the kerosene part. And then you make it to the solar, because the packaging is one of the most expensive parts of the solar movement. Moving all that product, and I would call it a lot of air, in the solar products, moving it all the way to the Philippines by shipment, by trucks, by custom. You go through customs. By the time it reaches the people, it's just so expensive. But they already have the
the container.
I mean, this is a lot of air inside.
Yep.
The part that makes it the light is the solar panel, the LED, and that's all available here already. Most of the way we expanded is trying to say why, the elephant in the room is, why aren't we transferring technology to the people? And this is, and this is also in the solar industry. Why are you trying to say that these things are so complex that, you're not even considering the wisdom of the poor, the capacity of the people to be able to create industry? So we think that solar should move from factories to the hands of millions of Filipinos, and of course around the world.
Excellent. Alfred, let's quickly, before you start working, because what you want to do is you want to show the viewers how easy it is to make one of these things, no? And Alfred, maybe before you start working, can you walk us through the little components you have in front of us? Ano ba yung mga yan?
We have several components like resistors, transistors, and MOSFET, which serves as the switching.
Okay. And
the PCB.
Okay. And so what we're going to do, Alfred, is we're going to leave you now. While Ilak and I talk about this further, we're going to leave you, and I think in about a minute and a half or 2 minutes, you will have an actual complete solar-powered traditional kerosene lamp. All right, Alfred, get to work.
Classic. It's a classic.
No, it's a beaut. In fact, I think I have one of these at home.
Think of the idea where people can trade in their polluting lanterns, and in a couple of minutes that you could create a solar lantern that not only will give them money, but also the fact that they can rent it. So if they don't want to sell it, well, if you have 10 of them, you can rent it, not giving the solar panel. You can rent it out and get a little bit of money after 5 days, 1 week. And then you can franchise it to your next, your next village. And so there's different business models that are happening.
You know, Ilak, for us, I mean, for you guys to viral this, really, it has to be something simple, right? I mean, it's something simple, can be replicated. Of course, you have to train for it, but it's not something super difficult. Who are the people whom you train to do this? I mean, what is the demographic? I mean, like young people? I mean, like, can kids do this?
So, the point is, how can you make yourself obsolete? That's actually, as long as you're talking about the foundation, we also are saying, how can we grow to expand in places that needs us, but leave behind these sustainable communities that don't need us anymore? That is the way to grow. That's how we've done it. That's how we've grown out of, the Philippine Islands. And so the people that we transfer this to are, for example, women cooperatives.
All right.
We have about 20 just in the Mandaluyong area. We're expanding to several locations. We're working with the League of Vice Governors around the country to be able to add on to their product development by transferring at least the startup skits for the house lights, emergency boxes, street lights, and from then you'll see people will be able to copy it. So TESDA, we're trying to create an open source where people can be able to source it. And of course, as I said, we start out with women cooperatives that otherwise would still be doing their basket weaves and pottery and very, very low income kind of consumer goods that we need to lift it up into something premium like this, which is energy.
I mean, look at Alfred now. It seems like he's, would you say he's more than halfway done?
I think we're just 2 pieces and we're going to...
And that's it. So it looks very simple to put
well,
together.
It's always been simple, except that people talk about the solar revolution, but it has to be done on their terms. That they should own the technology. Of course, there are bigger ones like, solar farms, where they can maintain it, replicate it. But for us, we also believe that the poorest or the really, really people that need it, you should be able to go to your local shop and have it made or have it rented.
And it looks like Alfred's done. Is that it, Alfred? Huh?
Yeah.
Okay, so the battery's in, and now he's just applying some glue to the base of the battery. And
now it doesn't have to have. You don't have to have electricity. You can heat it over.
Okay.
You can heat it over. You can heat it over fire.
Yes.
And you could still, you can still solder it. Now, if we don't have this, the circuit board, of course we can also have block. Those electronic blocks where you just tighten it.
Yes.
So the point really is that we should start realizing, as you make it and as Alfred make it and as corporate makes it, we should start realizing that solar can be local. That solar is not just something that is manufactured in some mythical factory, but
it doesn't have to be made in China.
We should demystify it and say, why? In fact, the question is, why haven't we done it yet? And that's because people are not talking about transferring this technology.
Okay. Wow. Okay, so voila.
And you can test it. You can test it. Wait.
You can see the. I mean, it's really lighting, Ilak. You have a small LED in there, and so you said that now in the studio we've got a lot of light, but you said that this is up to 5 times the illumination of a traditional kerosene lamp.
And then you can see if it charges. Look, you can test it out.
Okay, so this is the little solar panel.
So you hold it up.
Yeah, I'm going to hold up.
This is charging.
Okay, I'm going to hold up with the. All right. And so how do you know it's charging? Oh, because it's flashing.
Charging.
Yeah. There you go. So automatically it comes on at night.
Well,
but
it's just showing you that it's charging. But of course, at night you just take this thing out.
Very good, very good.
And so you can use that. The beauty of this is realizing that the product, the model is actually conversion of an already existing packaging and converting it cheaply into something that serves the purpose of solar, rather than bringing a completely plastic molded injection, designer light, which in a year and a half will not work.
Bravo, Alfred. I mean, job well done. Very quick, and at least we showed the viewers it's so easy to make and so easy to replicate. And this is something that is very doable all over the Philippines and even all over the world.
And it was a minute and a half.
A minute and a half, actually. It was actually a minute and a half. Yeah.
It was a minute and a half.
Now, Ilak, quickly before we close, about 2 minutes to close, plans for the future. Two of us are going to attend actually the United Nations Climate Change Conference in Bonn in Germany. You've been going every year. I've been going for the past 3 years. I'm going to see you there.
It was Morocco.
We were in Morocco last year, yeah.
It's a pity you didn't see my production plant for pottery there.
Solar-powered
pots.
No, I saw the literature and stuff. Amazing stuff. What are you planning for Bonn this year?
So basically, we are doing something in the United States. We have a big project happening there. So we have a team that will deal with youth. So we have a youth council that we're talking to, where we're going to teach them how to make street lights, and then we're going to display it in Bonn. But more of attendance for us for Bonn.
Very good, very good. I'm going to take this opportunity actually to just show a painting, since we're both eco-warriors, Ilak. This is a painting actually by a famous Georgian artist called Irina Chakirashvili, and it's about Georgian refugees who are suffering from the conflict and the destruction of the environment, basically, and the destruction of their homeland. And so this is actually going to go on display in Bonn at the United Nations Climate Change Conference. Ilak, I hope that you can attend our press conference over there.
Yeah.
And I'm surely going to attend yours. Yes, sir.
The last time we had the display, so definitely we're once again partnering for display and a workshop area there. So definitely you're gonna pass by and take some pictures.
Super. Ilak, minute close. Maybe some last words for you to the audience. Inspire them. Tell them how to get in touch with you guys. How to participate in this beautiful project called Litter of Light Foundation movement.
So you can go to our website, of course. litteroflight.org, but you can also go to our Facebook, alitteroflight.org, and it's nice because you will see our global adventures, both with this 1,400 youth from all around the world that are replicating exactly what we started here in the Philippines, and of course that being our model. What can 1 billion young people motivated do? And you shouldn't just inspire them, but give them the tools that they can go out and teach these women cooperatives how to do it. So once again, it's not the person speaking in front of you, Litter of Light, but really it's how you create an army of people that can do the same thing and make a difference. And so from Alfred, the team, and myself, Filipinos can change the world. And this is one case study that it's possible.
Thank you very much, Ilak. And Alfred, thank you so much for assembling this beautiful piece and then for being, for showing people how easy it is to put one of these lanterns together. Ilak, thank you so much for coming on the show. And Ilak Diaz, a global Filipino, true global Filipino. All right, guys, so I hope you enjoyed our show tonight, Solar Power to the People. Join us again next week here on Global Village and let us take you around the world. Till then, you all have a good evening.
No signal? Check the power and connection between the IRD and the TV set. For G Pinoy, make sure to set your TV setting in AV mode, then connect RCA wire and other connections properly. For HD, if your TV setting is in HDMI mode, use and connect HDMI wire instead of RCA, then followed by other connections. But if it is set to AV mode, use RCA wire. Then press Menu, Information, Channel information. Check the display of the signal strength and quality. If no signal quality and strength display in the manual mode, refocus the satellite. Before doing the refocusing of the satellite, check the weather condition. Heavy rains and heavy clouds can also interrupt satellite signal transmission. If weather is good, you can start the signal fine-tuning. Fine-tune the signal by monitoring the signal strength and quality on your TV. Once achieved, the best signal level scans all channels. Now, you can start viewing GSAT's quality program wherever you are. For other inquiries, please contact your local dealer or call GSAT hotline number 829999 or use our mobile phone numbers 0998-593-5986, 0998-996-4728, 0999-990-4728, 0925-800-3429, 0922-831-4728, 0917-835-8002, 0917-810-4728.
I'm Chrissy Dematulak, giving you the latest stories from GNN News Information Center. Here are the news. The series of MRT technical glitches prompted the Department of Transportation to sue former cabinet men for plunder over the rail transit mess. On the list of sued former officials are former Interior Secretary Mar Rojas, former Transportation Secretary Joseph Emilio Abaya, and former Budget Secretary Butch Abad. Let us find out the others on the list in this report from Rose Ann de la Cruz.
The Transportation Department, led by Undersecretary Rainier Yebra and Acting Assistant Secretary Giovanni Lopez, filed plunder charges against former officials of the Aquino administration over the alleged anomalous MRT-3 maintenance service contract they have entered with Busan Universal Rail Incorporated or BURI.
This is actually in response to the public clamor and cry for accountability for the dismal state of our train system, specifically the MRT-3.
Included in the respondents are former DOTC Secretary Joseph Emilio Abaya, former Undersecretary Edwin Lopez, former Undersecretary Rene Limcauco, former Undersecretary Catherine Gonzalez, former MRT-3 General Manager Roman Buenafe, former Bids and Awards Committee officials, and BURI officials, as well as top Aquino administration officials such as former DILG Secretary Mar Rojas, former DBM Secretary Florencio Abad, former DOF Secretary Cesar Purisima, former DOE Secretary Jericho Petilla, former DOST Secretary Mario Montejo, former DND Secretary Voltaire Gazmin, former DPWH Secretary Rogelio Singson, former NEDA Secretary Arsenio Balisacan, and Mr. Marlo de la Cruz. The complainants further cited a conspiracy among the respondents on the anomalous venture.
Ang basehan po namin dito ay isang malaking conspiracy sa mga miyembro ho ng dating opisyales at ang BURI ho. For the past 8 months, from the start of the contract of BURI, binayaran ho nila ang BURI buwan, every month, by 54 million.
Wala deduction.
Wala hong deduction yun, despite unperformed service and undelivered spare parts.
Meanwhile, Yebra ruled out that this move is politically motivated. When asked why was former President Benigno Aquino III excluded from the respondents, Lopez said the former chief executive was not a member of the Government Procurement and Policy Board. On the same day, the palace, through presidential spokesperson Harry Roque, said MRT breakdowns would not happen if BURI complied with its undertaking. He said the government expects temporary restraining orders following BURI maintenance service contract cancellation last November 6. A day before, a complaint was also filed against Abaya and former transport officials by militant groups, also in connection with the BURI maintenance contract for the MRT 2023. Bayan Secretary General Renato Reyes said this may serve as a warning to current transportation officials who may be thinking of favoring certain groups that will take over the maintenance and operations of the train system. For GNN, the Global News Network, this is Rosan de la Cruz.
Meantime, amid the calls for Transport Secretary Arthur Tugade's resignation, presidential spokesperson Harry Roque stressed Tugade still enjoys the full trust and confidence of President Rodrigo Duterte. In a palace press briefing on Tuesday morning, Roque said Tugade assured him that the Department of Transportation will find ways to fix the MRT's woes. April Senedoza has the details.
Utos naman po yan ng Presidente sa lahat ng miyembro ng gabinete, gawin niyo ang tama para sa taong bayan. At gawin niyo yan sa lalong mabilis na panahon.
This is what presidential spokesperson Harry Roque said when asked what is President Rodrigo Duterte's order to Transportation Secretary Arthur Tugade following calls of Tugade's resignation. Roque stressed Tugade enjoys the full trust and confidence of President Duterte. After the 116th anniversary of the Philippine Coast Guard on Monday, the Transportation Secretary rejected calls for his removal from office.
Hindi lahat ng problema ina-address yung resignation. Only the President can ask me to resign. I serve at the pleasure of the President and no one else.
During a palace press briefing on Tuesday, Roque mentioned he has Tugade the ways of the Department of Transportation in fixing the MRT3 series of technical glitches and frequent service interruptions. As for Roque, Tugade assured him that DOTR will procure reliable maintenance provider, build new rails, buy new train cars, and new signaling systems.
Talagang halos complete rehabilitation na ng MRT ang gagawin. Bagong relays, bagong mga train cars, bagong signaling system, at yung ongoing safety audit na ginagawa nila dito sa MRT.
It can be recalled that Magdalo Party List Representative Gary Alejano is one of the lawmakers who demanded Tugade to step down from his post due to recent MRT3 mishaps. The latest instance was the train car detached from the rest of the train set in between Buendia Station and Ayala Avenue Station last week. Meanwhile, Roque said he will personally complain to MRT personnel as he might ride the MRT3 once a week to see the real situation of the mass transport system. For GNN, the Global News Network, this is April Senedoza.
We are your voice for change. We'll keep on bringing you updates and latest stories. I'm Chrissy De Matula. Watch for these stories on News Force.
Here are today's headlines. Armed Forces of the Philippines backs President Rodrigo Duterte's plan to classify NPA as terrorist group. President Duterte to declare revolutionary government if things go out of control. President Duterte apologizes for MRT3 inconvenience. Mindanao-based human rights group records more abuse cases in Marawi. U.S. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson calls for a return to civilian rule in Zimbabwe. Justice League leads box office but falls short of expected takings. Fair and balanced news, comprehensive reports that take you to the heart of the action. This is News Force.
Hot and stylish fashion items for women.
And the unique products for men.
Be in your top shape with health and wellness.
Grab and get with your Get Go gadgets.
Be anywhere around the world with easy travel.
Brighten someone's day with our gifts and souvenirs.
Amazing items for our precious pets.
Road safety essentials with our automotive parts.
Make your everyday living worthwhile with Home and Living.
Special gifts for our little ones and kids.
Shop anytime, anywhere.
Complete your shopping experience with our nationwide free shipping with no minimum amount needed.
Online shopping experience has never been this good with quality products and fast transactions. Easy Mall is all you need.
Easy does it.
more details, please call your travel agents or visit China Airlines website at www.china-airlines.com.
This program is rated PG. It contains themes and scenes which may not be suitable for very young audiences. Parental guidance is advised.
Be advised that the views and opinions of the hosts and guests do not reflect those of the station.
Philippines, good evening. May gabi sa Libok, Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, up to Sabah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala barakatuh. Ako po si Eric Espina. Ito po inyong nag-iisang Republika. Today, November, is Drug Abuse Month. Our guest, I'm very happy to say, the last time I saw him, before he became part of the anti-drug war, was a senatorial candidate and was even endorsed by no less than President Rodrigo Roa Duterte, at the time Mayor Rodrigo Roa Duterte. This was during a one-hour, one-on-one interview with the President in BB Sullivan when he was launching his national campaign. And of course, this program was very privileged to have him. Today, our guest is General Dionisio Santiago, former DTV chair from July to November. Before we're going to talk about our topic, which is PDEA or PNP against the drug war, as of this taping, spokesperson Harry Roque has stated that, and we would like to give a chance to our guest to answer this, that part of the reason our guest was let go was because of alleged junkets. Is this true? Ano bang totoong kwento nitong junkets? Kaya inalis kayo, natanggal kayo, or you were forced to resign?
No, I was told to resign because of I do not want to talk about it, but I was shocked na meron pa ng bagong charges na akong leader sa junket. Teka, excuse me kung sino man ang nag-accuse niyan. I-check nyo because ang binayad ko dyan was my salary.
Okay.
You can check with DDB, ang salary na ang kwan dyan, ang salary ko is 112,000.
Okay.
And we paid 76,000 out of the kwan for the passage of my wife.
Okay.
And we paid for the hotel room. Ang anak ko, taga Northwest Airlines, nag-rendezvous sa amin doon.
Okay.
And they live with us doon sa room.
Okay.
And we paid extra, ang anak ko nagbayad. This is with Northwest Airlines.
So mas mura, you're trying to say mas mura kasi nasa Northwest.
Walang bayad yung anak ko.
Walang bayad?
Buong pamilya niya was there.
Hindi ho ba kayo kasama? I mean, aren't you also part of the privilege pag yung
No,
anak
I'm part of the privilege. Kaya nga nung na-report kami na yung mga jet setter, biniro nga ako, jet setter ako. I travel business class. Because my son, pero subject to availability of seats.
Okay. Because your kwan is working.
Revenue yun eh.
Is working with Northwest or?
Yes, he's based in the US. He used to be based in New York, sa Connecticut, sa Kennedy siya. Now nagugulon siya. He moved to Indiana. So when we biyahe, pag bumibiyahe kami, Christmas Eve. So we celebrate Christmas doon dahil maluwag ang eroplano.
Yes.
And we celebrate New Year there and we miss our New Year here.
Malinaw lang po, just to clarify it. When you use the term junket, it's usually government funds that are being used.
Yes.
No? In your case, was it government funds?
No. Sabi ko, sweldo ko eh.
Para malinaw po, madinig nila.
No, sabi ko, ang net ko is 112,000.
So, hindi ho gobyerno ang nagbayad?
No, gobyerno, sweldo ko.
Sweldo mo?
O
Okay.
paano naging gobyerno? Paano naging junket yun?
Okay.
O yung anak ko sila libre sa Northwest, sa Delta Airlines.
Oo. Ay yung sinasabi po sa press con ni Secretary Harry Roque na 6 kayo.
Yun o, nandun eh. Di sama nila si Secretary Baby because when we
Sino ko yung Secretary Baby?
Secretary Baby of the Office of the President, Special Concerns.
Ano kung family name ng Secretary Baby?
Secretary Baby Ignacio.
Okay.
Ang kasama dyan sila, nakasama ko nitong huli sa UN, si Rondain. Pagkatapos, pero New York mo, nakasama ko si Joan Season na nasa research.
Okay.
Yung miso namin na ang tawag. Then yung isang tao niya, because as a matter of fact, nitong bago ako natamaan ng ganito, ang sabi ko, ang tagal ko nang pumupunta dyan, wala naman palang nabago. So, we will have to reduce the number of trips.
Okay.
Kasi wala naman bago eh. Actually, I was executive director of DDB way back in 2004. Tapos ang PDEA ako balik-balik. PDEA, siyempre, law enforcement portion. Ang punta ko nito UN because si Aaron Aquino did not want to send somebody for law enforcement. Iba-iba yun eh. Alternative development, law enforcement, ano ba yung naunang portion ng preventive education.
Okay.
So, naghati-hati kami. Dahil every month yung 1 month, pwede nga swapangin ko, kung swapang ako. Pero di nati-hati ko sa mga tao. Saka yung lakad na yun, i-check nila, may authority from Malacanang lahat yun.
Approved by Malacanang?
Yes.
Mga biyahe nyo?
Yes, yung biyahe namin, may travel authority.
Kasi hindi ka naman makakabiyahe pag wala kang travel authority.
I-stopin ka sa airport.
Yes,
O iba paano naging junket yun? Ba't nila in-approve? Unang-una, may specialization bawat tao.
And then what you're saying is that there's nothing new to this continuing education that you go in the US. So gusto mong iksian?
Hindi, sa matter of yan, sinabi ko, nang bago ko umalis, babawasan na natin yan. Ang kailangan pumunta, technical people na.
Okay.
At itong huli nga, hindi na nga tumuloy sa Geneva. Pero ito puro on the whole mga community-based rehab and everything. Hindi na ako pumunta ng Geneva because yung ASEAN. So ang pumunta, may pumuntang Vienna, iba-iba, naghahati-hati kami. Naghahati-hati, pero kaya nagdadagdag kami tao. Hindi pwedeng kayo ng kayo. Hindi dapat na-hostage ang organization. There should always be an understudy. So nagdagdag ako ng understudy. As a matter of fact, nung huling meeting, sinabi ko yung mga tao, kayo magsalita para matuto kayo how to sit down sa UN mga debates.
Yes.
May masama na i-prepare mo organization. Hindi naman. 1 year lang ako supposed to be dito eh.
1 year lang dito sa DDB?
Yes, because I'm serving the unspent term of Secretary Garcia who immigrated.
Okay.
So wala. Sabi ko, mag-prepare kayo, hindi ko magtatagal dito. Sumobra nga hindi tagal eh. Sabi ko sana mga 6 na buwan. I wanted some other things dahil hindi naman pagyayabang.
Nanggaling na kayo kasi dito, no?
I have other specialization.
Nanggaling na kayo dito, no?
Tagal na ako dyan. Tinyente pa ako, drugs na ako eh. Sa Metrocom ako, marijuana yung kuhan. Tapos ito, 6 na taon na ako rito. Ito, repeat performance to. Pero para ako gamitin na sa junket, excuse me naman.
Can I use this term, General? Na project kayo, meron sigurong may gustong pumalit sa inyo? Meron ba kayong kalaban? Meron ba? I mean, sa tansya niyo po, how do you see it? How do you see this?
Hindi ko alam. Sila mas sumagot sa akin because ang dumidiskarte naman dito, hindi ako appointee lang ako eh.
Yes.
I'm just an appointee. Ako naman, nung sabihin, mag-resign, hindi nag-resign. Hindi naman ako mahirap kausapin. Diba? Bakit ako na-target ni Roque?
Okay. Could it be possible that the palace was misinformed?
Baka mamaya, iba na naman terman na mabas. Hindi ko alam kung anong information.
Have they seen your video interviews?
Doon sa takbo ng mga naririnig ko, mukhang hindi.
But in this program, you can say that in many of your interviews, you have actually defended the drug war, no?
Panoorin na lahat ng interview ko. Pati yung interview ko sa'yo kung may sinabi ko against government.
Oo.
Nagtaka nga kung bakit bigyan lang against the president ako.
So you mean to say, if the palace will look at all your videotapes, it speaks for itself?
Oh, even si Secretary Roque, kung panoorin niya, baka I hope he will have time to view. Kasi unang-una, yung interview ko, yung pinanggalingan ng mistake na yan. Alam mo naman kung sino gustong sumira kay Presidente.
May isang pahayagan?
Hindi na, saka network.
Network ng pahayagan na ito?
Very special reason yun eh. Diba? Endangered na sila eh.
So you're saying you were misquoted or
I think
chinap-chap yung statement
it is intentional. Bibigyan kita isang
chinap-chap yung statement
I'll give you one example. Sa isang interview ko, sabi ko, si Presidente ginugulpi nyo because you cut short. Because ang sabi ni Presidente, yung mga nasa drugs na yan, papatayin ko yan. Patayin nyo. Period. O di sabi, pag minamatay, EJK, utos ng Presidente. Sabi ko, pero kung idudugtong nyo, ang kadugtong sabi ng Presidente, pag lumaban.
Yes. Pag lumaban.
Di ba?
Tama.
Di ba kinakat short?
Yes.
Kaya sabi ko, pwede tapusin nyo yung sinasabi ng Presidente para walang napapahamak na tao. Intentional yung ginagawa sa kanya eh.
Alam niyo po, General, meron tinatawag na fake news. Ako magsisimula ako ng terminology. Sana magamit ang na kanyang chop-chop journalism.
Hindi problema nila yun.
Baka gusto nila chop-chop journalism ang nangyayari dito.
Ibig sabihin, huwag yung kakampi, banatan nila.
Tama.
Hindi ko naging kalaban kahit minsan.
Tama yun.
Iski tinatanong ako, will you support the president? Hanggang makamatayan namin because advocacy yung pinagsamahan namin eh.
Yes.
Hindi naman yung aming pangalan eh. Advocacy. Which is beyond us.
Nagkaisa kayong dalawa ni President?
Hindi naman kami naghiwalay eh.
Tama.
Kaya sabi, do you still support the president? Sabi ko, moral obligation ko because we have the same advocacy. Pagkatapos sabi ko, siguro kung isa sa amin, kung ako naging gawin lang nasa pro-drugs ako, baka maghihiwalay kami, iwanan niya ako, okay lang. Kung totoo.
Yun nga, doon sa opening statement ko po, I remember during our interview.
Ayoko na, I did not want to talk about it.
Yes.
I thought we will, yung interview ko, na pinanggalingan nito was I was explaining the whole government program.
Correct. Because it is,
the
drug abuse
month.
Okay.
Prevention month.
Tama.
So it is, pagkatapos ang kinukong ko nga, bakit ako nagpapa-interview? Because I thought the exposure of the soft approach, not PIDEA, but the soft approach of the government, of the president,
will help.
Gusto kong ma-enhance. Because nagbabayad kami 800,000, ilang minuto lang ang bibigyan ako ng 2 minutes. Itong interview mo sa akin, I'm very sure will reach the homes of a lot of people.
Yes.
Na libre.
Yes.
No?
Matagal na po tayo kasi magkakilala din.
Hindi, na-explain ko yung programa ng gobyerno.
Yes.
Tinake advantage. No? I do not want to, sabi ko, hindi ko na tinanong kung sino yung pangalan ng bata. Dahil sabi ko, baka siya ma-chop-chop ko. Hindi, masyadong sobra. Alam mo, inaabuso ang gobyerno. Huwag naman akong idamay doon sa ako pa kasama sa nang-aabuso sa gobyerno. Alam mo, nung pabaon na yan, pinag-usapan na yan. Kasi nung tinanong, sabi, sino sasagot yan sa mga, ano tawag doon sa mga biyaherong mga generals.
Yung nagre-retire.
Hindi nagre-retire, yung may tawag sila eh. Yung mga, sabi ko, ako tinuro nila, sir, ikaw mo yung pinaka-senior. Sabi ko, ako'y jet setter. Tapos I travel business class. Subject to availability of seats.
And because you have
non-revenue kasi yung aking ticket.
At because you have a relative, it makes sense eh. I mean, anybody knows that.
Pwede nga, to save government nga, there was a time na ginamit ko yung may ticket ang US government. Nag-sponsor ang USA. Itong huli libre to, bigay ng United ano bang government nagbigay to? The government of Switzerland yata. Geneva yun.
Yes.
Yung susunod is Adelaide.
Yes.
Ikutan mo Adelaide, Australia, Adelaide, Sydney, and Canberra. I'm interested to, as a matter of fact, kung junket na i-consider, because sabi ko, mag-arrange ko ng papuntang Hong Kong. Na kasi maganda ang Hong Kong correctional, pati yung drug rehab system. I don't have to go there because alam ko na ako na nga mag-coordinate. So may coordination, they can check it. Talagang nagpapapunta ako, sabihin nyo, yung DOH, yung DOJ. Sinama ko si Governor Abet when he was Justice Committee Secretary. Sinama ko, kaya si Governor Abet, merong community rehab yan. Na dating barracks ng batalyon, nung umalis ang batalyon, ginamit niyang community-based rehab. As a matter of fact, si Presidente rin, merong community-based rehab na maganda yan sa Davao mismo. Mayor pa siya, hindi pa siya Presidente.
Hindi ba natin pwede kopyahin yung ginagawa ni Mayor Duterte doon?
As a matter of fact,
yun ang kinopya natin.
Pinapakopya ko.
Mabuti naman.
Kasi ang laman nung tanong mo sa kanya, 172 lang. And he's catering even to the addict of Cotabato. Cotabato and Jensen. Meron
kasama din.
Tapos meron siyang test the training doon. Nag-inject pa nga ako, nag-suggest ako. Ang daming ko ng test padagdagan natin ng mga vocational courses.
Yes.
Dahil marami ka mga pati finishing ng building. Ginamit ko pang model, sample yung kanya.
Yung kay President Duterte?
Yes.
Does the President know this?
I don't think so.
Hindi alam ni Presidente ito?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Oh, that's very sad, Kaya nabanggit ko lang po yan kasi I remember...
Kaya lang, nagkuha na nga ako nung sinabi ni Freddy na tinitira ako. Ba't ako nadamay na naman? Yung junket was approved by Malacanang, lahat ng tao doon. Meron pa nakasaalang doon na portrait. Si Secretary Reyes is still there.
Sino hong papalit sa inyo?
Hindi ko alam.
Hindi nyo pa alam?
Hindi ko alam. Ba't pinag-resign ako? Nag-resign ako.
If the President would ask you for who can you recommend?
Ayoko na makalam. Baka magkamali ako.
Baka magalit ulit sa inyo?
Ayoko makalam. Normally, I leave it to them. Miski nung nasa armed forces ako.
Sila na bahala?
Hindi kami nagkukuhan. We let the board do its job. Miski si Presidente naman, yan ang thinking niya. Nandiyan ka.
Ikaw na bahala dyan?
Kaya sabi niya sa akin, ba't siya nagkukuhan? Iniwanan ko sa kanya. Kaya lang, hindi naman ako in-empower sa totoo. Nabanggit niya yun, pero ang PIDEA in-empower niya. DDB ako.
Okay. Yung from July to November, if you can just, in the very brief stint that you had, what achievements, anything new?
Ayoko magyabang. Tanongin nyo ng PIDEA ang DDB. Tanongin nyo DDB kung anong kuhan. Sasampulan na lang kita.
Yes.
Ng pick 1, napagkasundo ko ang pare at ang local government. Tapos na-site natin yung kay Father Abelardo, yung Saklay. Yung church nakikialam na ngayon sa rehab.
Yes.
Tapos tinuturuan namin sila, sir, sa church kayo, bishop, hindi nyo papakinabangan ng pera ng gobyerno dahil private.
Yes.
Ang pera ng gobyerno by policy na yan, dadaan sa local government. So you have to talk. At nagtutulong ang local government. Tapos, nandyan ang Saklay, gumalaw ang, pati municipality of San Antonio, Nueva Ecija, sinasite ko yung corporate social responsibility, yung mga po-rehab na ganyan, yung may talent at magmamatch, nag-open ng CDC.
Okay.
Clark Development Corporation. They are ready to accept yung po pwede.
Para for employment.
Tapos marami ng private sector na tumutulong. So, under corporate social responsibility.
Okay.
So, yung program na kuha natin na, yun nga, humihingi kami kay Senator Lacson ng budget
to help
para dagdagan for advocacy.
Okay, we're going to pause for a few reminders. We'll come back and talk to General Santiago, and maybe we can shift to whether it's PIDEA or it's the PNP. What about marijuana, legalizing it, etc., etc. When we return.
stylish fashion items for women.
And the unique products for men.
Being in top shape with health and wellness.
Grab and get with your Get Go gadget.
Be anywhere around the world with easy travel.
Choose from our gifts and souvenirs.
Amazing items for precious pets.
Automotive parts and essentials.
Make your everyday living worthwhile with Home and Living.
Special gifts for kids.
Shop anytime, anywhere.
Easy does it.
Introducing the new bike M20 with Ultra Space. Hands-free Bluetooth. LED light sets. Multifunctional steering wheel. Electronic power steering. New fashionable compact MPV. Experience the bike M20.
Habitat for Humanity uses tin cans to collect donations from the public. Through a simple design innovation, we're adding a new meaning to the can. More homes, more communities for people in need. Every coin that you give is a plus to humanity.
Pabibira nila ako sa DOJ dyan.
Okay, we're back and we're still talking to General Dionisio Santiago. Before we go into the title of our program, General, if you had the chance to speak to the President, yung by accident lang, and then nakita kayo, anong gusto niyong ipaabot kay Presidente?
Wala, malinaw naman sinabi ko. May respeto ako sa kanya. Tuloy yung support ko because of advocacy. Alam mo, may kumausap sa akin, baka bumaligtad ako, minura ko eh.
May nagsabi na baka pumunta kayo sa kalaban.
Sabi ko, ano,
minura nyo?
Sabi ko, akala nyo wala akong isip. Kung wala kayong isip, yung klase nyo, huwag nyo ko idamay. Hindi ako ganyan. Ako, pagka umayaw ako, inayawan ako, wala akong magawa. Pag umayaw ko, ayaw ko rin.
But you're still supporting actually the President on his drug war?
Na?
You're still supporting the President on his drug war?
Ano mo, sabi ko nga sa kanila, it's an advocacy.
Okay.
The least that I can do for him, not for him, but for the next generation.
Yes, yes.
I'll just try my best to keep my own family from drugs. Family-based to eh.
Yes.
Kung lahat ng pamilya gagawin niyang ingatan yung anak nila, sabi nga ni President Sara ni President Sara.
Mayor Sara.
Ni Mayor Sara.
Duterte.
Hindi mo naman kailangan ng kulay eh. In your own way, kay opposition ka, this is a free country, kay opposition ka, kay kakampi ka.
Walang partido itong drugs eh.
Wala.
Kalaban talaga.
Sa kanya, magsalita ka, you can criticize. Sabi niya, I criticize my own father. There's democracy in the family. You criticize, pero huwag nyo nang ilabas ng Pilipinas yung problema.
Yes, yes, yes.
Dahil pare-pareho tayo nasasaktan noon. Diba? Ganun no, Papa.
Ang basa niyo po, General, no? You've heard about this plan to legalize marijuana, medicinal marijuana. Matagal na kayo dyan sa laban against drugs. Your own thoughts, your own take, your own experience.
Hindi, alam mo, hindi kami kasama sa discussion dyan sa Senate, sa Congress.
Oo, pero kung may magtatanong sa inyo.
Pero ibig sabihin, nagpapa-research na kami, pinag-aaralan na namin kung ano yung mga even control measures na ibang countries.
Okay.
Para pagpunta sa IRR, dapat preemptive ka dapat advance ka, huwag kang mag-antay na lang.
Na may mangyayari.
Para pagka nagkaroon na ng discussion sa Congress, paglabas mo ng implementing rules and regulations, where DDB will be involved together with DOH. Naka-ready ka, yung evidence-based. Yun ang pinag-uusapan namin ngayon. Huwag kang... Ako, may error ako because based on my own, sabi ko, siguro perception or experience. Pero iba yung may evidence eh.
Yes.
Yung marijuana kasi merong evidence, pero ang kinu-question namin dyan, aabot ba kung talagang may benefit siya, aabot ba sa lahat ng levels? Because lumalabas siya expensive eh. Di hindi rin makikinabang yung kanya nang ipipilitin mong gawin na kung illegalize mo, ang medical benefit will accrue to everybody.
Okay.
Everybody.
Hindi ho ba, some people are saying, like smoking may lead you to marijuana, and then hindi ba pwedeng marijuana will also lead you to other drugs?
Hindi, kaya nga ang pandyan kaya nga sabi ko, hindi rin haphazard dapat yan. Kaya nga nag-umpisa na ang DDB to make itong, yung grupo sa DDB nagre-research na. At yan, meron kami, napanood ko nga.
Wala pa kayong rekomendasyon so far? Nag-aaral pa lang?
Wala, meron ka na. May mga models ka magagaya. Sa Vienna, meron yan. You can smoke, provided huwag kang aalis doon huwag kang maglalabas. Isang building doon, you can smoke marijuana, basta huwag kang lalabas. Doon mo gamit.
Mag-isa ka lang?
Individual, you can go
individual. Paano po pag pinasa? Bawal yun?
Hindi, di ipasa mo, basta huwag lalabas doon.
Doon sa building na yun?
Yung building na yun.
Hindi ba parang pot session na labas doon, nasa loob kayo ng building?
Hindi, bahala ka. Basta lumabas ka, sabit ka, sabitin ka ng pulis kung... basta huwag kang manggulo, yun ang mausapan, huwag kang manggulo. Alam mo, marami kong luwag na ginawa dahil yung morphine, which is the most effective, makaroon maging addict. Sabi ko, stage 4. Pagkatapos, lahat ako pumipirma. Sabi ko, hindi. Gawin yung paano kung nasa labas ako. Antayin nyo yung problema. Kung 1 linggo, 2 linggo, kung wala. Yung problema, mag-aantay sa akin. Huwag ganoon.
General, the fight against drugs is it only a law enforcement problem or it's whole nation approach?
No. Kwan yan eh. As a matter of fact, yung palang kinukuan, what we consider, ang next move ko dyan is ipasok sa curriculum na yan eh.
Okay.
Yung knowing drugs. Kasi even ako, marami akong bagong substances na hindi ko na alam.
Okay.
Baka makita ko, hindi ko alam yan. Hindi kagaya laruan sa Divisoria, alam mo, pangit na laruan ito paghawak mo. So, para ang tao makapag-aral kung dapat tapin o hindi. Pagkatapos, tawag dito? Tapos ang ko namin is to tap the deans of academics.
Okay.
No? Para...
To help?
Kasi nakakaalam sa bata sa discipline eh. Yung Dean of Student Affairs.
Okay.
ng CHED and DepEd.
Nabanggit niyo yung Dean of Student Affairs. At tatandaan ko dati noon, pag nag-i-enroll ako, meron kaming mga checklist.
Yes.
Kasama dental,
yes.
Doktor, titignan ka. Pwede bang isama natin dyan, as long as may parental consent, yung drug test?
Hindi, actually, sa akin, wala namang masama doon.
Payag kayo, basta lang may parental consent.
Hindi, pwede nga yung iba nga sa, di ba, yung ibang companies, yung drivers.
Pag nag-a-apply, kailangan may drug test.
Hindi ka pwedeng po lumusot. Kaya yung mga tourist buses dyan, ginawa ko yan when I was PDEA.
Okay.
Ako nag-initiate yan. Yung mga drivers association na yung piston and everything.
So yung mga estudyante pwede yun sa mga colleges?
Hindi lang colleges. Kasi nag-uumpisa yan, elementary. Pero hindi mo napapapasukin. Lagyan mo na intervention para hindi magtuloy-tuloy.
Basta importante po, merong parental consent.
Hindi, miski walang parental consent.
Kasi bata po eh.
Hindi, kahit na. Ano man pinagkaiba? Yung naman gumagawa ng kalokohan na bata, hindi na wala naman parental consent yun eh. Para nung kwan, sabi ba't ka nag-resign? Inutusan ako. Ano, may question? Wala. Nung i-appoint ako, hindi naman ako nag-question. Tuwa ako eh.
Yung the fight against narcotics and the spike in drugs has shifted from PNP to PIDEA. That's a good move.
Hindi, either way yan. Alam mo, yung PIDEA, nung hawakan ko yan, inalis lahat ng pulis. Natiran ako 100 tao.
Okay.
Pero na-manage ko because nandiyan naman ang Armed Forces Intelligence, Police Intelligence.
Okay.
For as long as you have good relationship, and by law yan, you can tap the services of, kahit ano pahawakin mong ahensya dyan, kung mga loko-loko hahawak, may problema ka.
Do you prefer the PIDEA to be the lead agency in the drug war?
It's not a matter of preference. It is by law.
Oh, yun nga. So,
kasi nandun sa batas ako, hindi ko paghihirapan yan.
Who should lead it? The PIDEA or the PNP? Kasi yun po ang nagiging question eh.
Hindi, by law yan eh.
Correct.
Kahit mag-lead ang PIDEA, pero by law yan eh.
Okay.
Basta tapable naman PNP. Hindi naman labas ang PNP. Binawalan na ng presidente ang PNP na mag-enforce.
Okay.
Pero yung mag-provide ng intelligence, pati
tuloy-tuloy pa rin yun.
As a matter of fact, ang armed forces, merong component sa ISAP yan na nagagather ng information about narcotics, pero hindi nag-i-implement.
Okay.
Ang laki ng ISAP nationwide yan.
Yes.
Ang laki ng NBI. And they're all tappable customs.
Yes.
Ako hindi ko po problemahin yan.
So you just have to tap all this intelligence networking sa PIDEA?
Andun, very clear ang pakinggan mo si Derek and ganon. The PIDEA is authorized to tap.
Ang nababanggit po ng mga abogado, mas maganda daw yung PIDEA dahil merong requirements as to pag may mga raids, when you conduct a raid, kailangan may presence of media.
Hindi, ang police meron din.
Okay.
If you take yung pre-ops, mas mahirap ang pre-ops ng police.
Okay.
Sa amin, sinimplify namin by phone eh.
Kailangan may public servant nandun. Media, public servant.
May pinababago lang tayo na yung
custody.
Hindi, yung chain of custody nandun yun. Pero minsan, alam mo, the realities on the ground, iba rin eh. Military kernel ka naman eh. So, alam mo, yung minsan sa practical application, nag-iiba sa yung idealistic yan eh. Miski nga sabi ko nga, sa decision making, pag nagpa-priority tayo, ito tingin natin, priority 1, 2, 3. Only in the process of implementation, makita mo may hindrances. So you revise yung priority mo.
Okay. General, tingin nyo, should you have, let's say, I don't know, an undersecretary for Luzon, undersecretary for Visayas, undersecretary for Mindanao in the Dangerous Drugs Board para mas lalong matanganan yung labanan, ma-identify kung sino yung dapat talagang
policy making lang.
Okay.
Policy making, kasama mo naman sa board yung may mga regional offices.
Okay, so hindi na kailangan?
Hindi na kailangan. Papalakihin mo masyado, gastos lang yan.
Okay.
Kamiting mo naman ng pulis, kamiting mo PIDEA, kamiting mo DOH. Sila na bahalang magkondoon dahil ang kanila namang mandato nandoon naman sa batas yun.
But you will be agreeable that the PIDEA is undermanned. Kulang ng tao.
I don't think so.
Kailangan mas maraming tao. Okay na sila, they're okay.
I don't think so. Sabi ko nga, yung tao, baguhin mo lang ang PIDEA, gagalaw ka lang pagka puno ka na ng ebidensya.
Okay.
Saka yung may requirement kasi, ang ahente, yung nanguhuling ahente, siya rin yung nagtetestify in court. Kaya unang-una, yung anonymity mo, yung blanket of...
compromise na.
Compromise na. Pagkatapos, nakatali ka, pagpunta ka ng punta sa korte, appear ka ng appear. Yung time mo, uubusin pati gastos sa kwan.
If you had the chance to tweak the PIDEA, ano hong mga maliliit na pagbabago ang gagawin ninyo to make it more cohesive, more effective, more efficient as an agency?
Well-trained ang mga taga-PIDEA, matatalino yan.
Okay.
Mag-sincere lang sila sa implementation ng function nila. Alam mo, nung may cocaine, panay turo ko, harangin nyo dyan sa Roro.
Oo.
O di kakahuli, pero kung ano, yung kung ano yan, bantayan nyo. Pero noong time na yun, understandable ang problema ng PDEA ko konti. Napakaraming provinces, maraming towns and provinces sa Region 5. Hindi mo makater sa isang lugar. Doon papasok ang importance ng PMP na parang coordinating ka. Yung sinasabi ni Juan, tatama yan doon sa correct but not totally correct.
Okay.
Kasi wala naman taong ma-deploy police sa Juan. Doon mo nagagamitin, di ba? Nagawa naman ni Aaron eh.
Yung
ginawa niya, ginamit niya doon sa operation sa Sarangani, yung Joint Intelligence Task Force.
Okay.
O, di ba?
Yung ano po, yung punto po sa pakipaglaban po sa droga. Ano po sa tingin niyo? Saan pumapasok yung droga? Yung for example, buhay pa ba yung pagluluto sa Muntinlupa sa New Bilibid? Hindi na.
Naiba ng kultura dyan eh.
Tawagan na lang.
Kung na yan eh, pati nga yung sa pagdideposito, wala na, deposito, pag nagdeposito, ba't ay yung bank account, yung papasok yung...
So wala nang lutuan dyan kasi sa labas na yung lutuan. Dati di ba may nagluluto sa loob tapos nilalabas.
Hindi ko na alam kung may nagluluto dyan, pero yung pwedeng nag-iimbakan dyan, pwedeng... kasi hindi mo iisipin na doon magtatago eh. Saka hindi ini-inspect, kaya sabi ko, inspectin nyo yung palabas, huwag yung papasok lang.
How about PDEA or Dangerous Drugs Board or the Republic itself should make representations with China? Let's have a bilateral...
Yun ang isang kid dyan eh. Tulungan nyo naman kami sa inyo nang gagawin.
Kaya nga.
That is where customs will play a very important role.
Are we doing that? Are we going to China and say, hey, part of our problem in drugs is you guys. Can you help us?
Actually, ang naging kaibigan ko yung China Narcotics, ang head na ngayon, babae, nakita ko sa international relations. After a long layoff, nagkita kami, ikaw na pala, mag-usap tayo. Wala na, hindi na kami pwede mag-usap, wala na naman ako.
Pero kasi may mga nagsasabi ho talaga, hindi ko sinasabing pinapayagan, pero parang nagbubulag-bulagan ang China pagpasok ng mga droga dito.
Hindi, mahirap mag-accuse.
Mag-accuse, okay.
We don't have to accuse them. Kasi noon naman kami, pag-provide ng information nila na jointly, tinrabaho namin eh. Ang point ko, nang kinwestiyon ko ang Thailand, bakit alam nyo, bakit hindi nyo harangin dyan sa inyo? Ba't papabayaan nyo pa umabot dito? Kami papahulihin nyo. Ang labas tuloy, tayong pinaka-sentro. Kinwestiyon ko ang Thailand dyan. That was before I was replaced as PDEA chief.
Alam niyo po, General, I'm a Cebuano. The drug contour in Cebu is very different kasi may Nubain eh. So yung
Nubain,
yung Nubain,
yan na, nilalawit mo na election sa iyo.
Yun ang double whammy nga eh kasi dahil sa Nubain tumataas yung number ng HIV sa Visayas.
Kaya na diyan pumasok ang World Health, yung idea injecting drug use. Yung intravenous. Alam ko yan. Pero unique ang Cebu dyan.
Unique dahil double whammy. May Nubain, may HIV pa.
Saka nandyan sa lugar na marami rin prostitution yun.
Yes. How do we approach like sa Cebu? Nubain plus tumataas yung HIV dahil sa Nubain.
Hindi, ang kinukuha natin dyan, siyempre, kabisado yung area eh. Alam naman yung lugar sa inyo eh. Ang question, bakit hindi na-solve yun? Noong time namin, ako yan eh, dahil binantayan yan. Of course, yung tinatawanan natin, pero ang World Health naman kaya nagpo-produce ng mga needles para maiwasan naman HIV spread.
Yes.
Double intention yun.
Yes.
Gusto natin ma-prevent yung HIV. Pero on the contrary, bakit ganyan? Pero hindi mo makontrol, umanap ka na muna isang remedial measure para isang problema, huwag nang kumalat, di ba?
Okay, eto, merong drug list si President Duterte, no? Posible ho bang masama sa drug list kahit wala kang kinalaman? Nagkamali sa reporting, nagkamali sa intelligence, meron kang kalaban sa loob, sinama pangalan mo. Is that possible?
possibility, pero normally hindi mo gagawin yan. Kaya very careful kami dyan eh. Yung iniingatan namin dahil mahirap, kagaya ko, drug lord na ako ngayon.
Oo, drug lord na kayo.
Sabi ko, ba't ako naging drug lord?
So that's what I'm saying. Can a person be victimized by circumstances? Kahit na...
Alam mo, miski sa military, nangyari nga. Kaya nung ako'y maging head ako ng Intelligence and Security Group, pinalakas ko yung adjudication board. Pag na-adjudicate ka at nakita, you can be erased from the list. Otherwise, pag na-report ka at hindi ka na-adjudicate, you will be perpetually in the list.
So you can be adjudicated?
Makikita mo yan kung paano. Pag chinek mo, makita mo kung sino. Pag na-trace mo kung sino gumawa report, makita mo merong mali.
May mali. So if you're a politician, you can go to DDB and request to be adjudicated. Para matanggal, madilis ka, pwedeng mga parang ganon.
Hindi ko alam, PDEA yan eh.
Oo, pero more or less parang ganon ang proseso.
Ewan ko kung may delisting procedure sila.
May mga politiko bang nadidelist?
Hindi ko
alam nyo?
Hindi ko alam. May mga reported na nawala, hindi ba?
Oo.
Merong nagpapatulong sa akin. Sabi ko, alam ko, target namin yan, ba't wala sa listahan?
Okay. Final words, General Santiago, to your audience, to the public that are listening to us, and to the supporters of President Duterte.
Nalulungkot lang ako. Hindi ko maintindihan kasi yung junket, they can check kung saan ang galing ang binayad pati sa ticket.
Source of funding,
yung huli ko, 76,000 was deducted from my
salary.
Ang sweldo ko ng misis kong pera yung akin yung allowance na 30,000. So, 142 ang kuwan ko. 142 ang net ko. 200,000 eh.
Okay.
So, they can check. 76 may natira pa sa misis ko.
So,
yung hotel namin, yung additional head na tumira, may additional bayad yun.
Okay.
Hindi libre. Yung anak ko na nag-join sa amin, they came from New York, from Indiana. Tapos from there, umuwi sila, namasyal na sila sa Rome.
Okay.
Dahil malapit. Yung nakalistang mga tao doon, they can check. They perform specific functions sa DDB
yes,
na relevant. At yung ibang kasama namin from Malacanang.
Okay, yun.
No?
At least malinaw po yun.
Hindi, parang malinaw.
Oh, tama
I-check
yun.
nila.
Tama yun.
Hindi kami umalis. Ang misis ko, hindi kailangan travel authority. Nagpatulong lang kami pagkuha ng visa.
Okay. So, that does it for our interview with General
I'm sorry, but hindi itong topic natin. Ba't napunta tayo dito?
Pero ba't na-discuss mo natin lahat?
I'm very thankful na nung sabihan ako. At least naunahan ko na explanation. Kung gusto pala ituloy,
andyan naman yung record, tignan na lang
they
nila.
can check the records.
Okay. And the other interviews of General Santiago. So, that's the full, more or less, hour for us talking with General Dionisio Santiago, one of the foremost Davids against the fight against drugs. Thank you very much, General. Thank you. Marami po salamat. And this has been Eric Espina. Palagi po nagsasabi, magmasid, makialam, higit sa lahat ay manindigan. Dahil wala pong magmamahal sa Pilipino kung hindi ang Pilipino. Daghang salamat, mayang gabi, kaninyong tanan.
Ang Pilipinas ay isang bansang sagana sa yamang dagat. Hindi natin nakikita sa ilalim ng ating maaalong tubig ay isang mundong makulay at maganda. Ang mga isda at hayop dagat sa ating mga coral reef ay katangi-tangi. Marami din tayong lugar pangisdaan na nagbibigay ng saganang huli na ikinabubuhay ng ating mga mangingisda. Isa sa mga ito ay ang Burias Ticao Pass sa pagitan ng Sorsogon, Masbate at Samar Island.
Ang Ticao at Burias Pass ay isang mayaman na fishing ground sa buong Bicol region. Makitid lang ito mga 28 hanggang 30 kilometro ang width.
Subalit, ang mayamang karagatang ito, gaya ng karamihan ng karagatan sa buong Pilipinas, ay humaharap sa matitinding paghamon.
Burias-Ticao Pass represents the crisis of what the Philippine seas are facing right now. Nandito yung illegal fishing that contributes to overfishing. Nandito yung destruction of mangrove habitats, destruction ng mga seagrass ecosystems. Representative ang mga areas na to for coral destruction.
Ang illegal fishing at overfishing o sobra-sobrang pangingisda na nagiging sanhi ng pagkaubos ng mga isda ay dalawa sa mga pinakamalaking problema dito.
Ngayong taon, napakita na napakataas ng overexploitation ng fishery resources dito. Yung mga dominant na isda na hinuhuli ng mga mangingisda ay napakataas ang exploitation level. Sobra sa sinasabi nating maximum sustainable yield.
Hindi rin nakatutulong ang iligal na pagdagsa sa rehiyon ng mga naglalakihang commercial fishing boats.
Ilang pang taon ang dadaan ay makikita natin na mababa na ang huli ng isda. Napakarami ng mangingisda sa hinuhuling konting isda.
Ngunit hindi lang ito ang problema. Ang dagat mismo ay unti-unting nasisira.
Napakita ng pag-aaral namin noong 2007 na ang living coral cover sa Dunsol ay 50.2%. Ang sa Pilar, 52% live coral cover. Napakababa pa rin ito para makasustain ng fishery resources dito sa area.
Maraming uri ng isda at iba pang hayop sa dagat ang umaasa sa mga coral reef para sa pagkain at tirahan. Ang pagsama ng kalagayan ng karagatan ay nakikita sa pagbabago ng mga uri ng mga coral na nabubuhay dito.
Kung titingnan mo yung quality ng corals na buhay, more than 50% of these are soft corals. Yung mga soft corals are actually considered as ecological indicators of disturbances like siltation and sedimentation.
Hindi lang mga coral ang nasisira sa pagdami ng silt at sediment na bumubuhos sa dagat.
They smother the seagrass and seaweeds in these beds. As life support system as respirators, isa ang seaweeds and seagrasses sa malaking naitutulong para stabilize ang kondisyon ng karagatan.
Tulad ng mga coral, seaweed at seagrass, importante ang bakawan sa kalusugan ng dagat.
Yung mangrove kasi, siya yung nagsisilbing nursery at saka breeding ground ng mga isda at iba pang aquatic organisms like crabs and other shellfish. Doon muna sila habang nanginginain at lumalaki bago sila pumalaot pumunta doon sa open ocean.
Ngunit ang mga bakawang ito ay nanganganib rin.
Kino-convert siya into other uses. Yung mga malalaki na kinakahoy siya, ginagawang uling, ginagawang gamit sa bahay. Tapos yung iba, ginagawa siyang for fish pond.
Ang lahat ng problemang nakikita natin sa Burias-Ticao Pass ay sumasalamin sa kalagayan ng karamihan sa mga karagatan ng ating bansa.
Kailangan na nating bigyang lunas ang problema na kinakaharap ng ating karagatan. Kailangan na rin nating itigil itong illegal commercial fishing dito at kailangan na nating bigyang kaukulang proteksyon ang yaman ng ating mga dagat.
Ang yamang dagat ng bansang Pilipinas ay may hangganan. Kailangan nating pangalagaan ito ngayon para sa kinabukasan ng ating bansa.
I'm Chrissy De Matula, giving you the latest stories from GNN News Information Center. Here are the news. Prayers and mass offerings, donation of relief goods, and clothes are among the top things Filipinos will do in order to help the individuals affected by the Marawi crisis. The newest social weather station survey revealed this after the city's celebration last month. Mai Bermudez has more.
It has been more than a month since President Rodrigo Duterte officially declared Marawi City's liberation after the government forces toppled ISIS-linked leaders and pacified the unabated attacks perpetrated by the Mauti group. But the horrors of the conflict seem to ignite the empathy of Filipinos for the Maranaos. The newest social weather station survey asked this question: how much are you willing to help the victims of Marawi siege? 60% of respondents say they are ready to help, 20% are unready, and another 20% are undecided. Meantime, the poll also showed that prayers and mass offerings, donation of relief goods, and clothes are among the top things the respondents can do in order to help. The willingness to help the affected residents of Marawi is highest in Mindanao at 70%, followed by Metro Manila at 68%, Visayas at 57%, and Balance Luzon at 54%. The survey was done using face-to-face interviews of 1,500 adults nationwide. After the declaration of Marawi's liberation, it can be recalled that Western Mindanao Command Chief Lieutenant General Carlito Galvez Jr. underscored that the real challenge in Marawi began when the war ended. For him, the battle doesn't end in the main battle area, especially since locals are slowly returning to their now shattered homes and are walking in the road of recovery from one of the worst conflicts the southern Philippines has experienced in recent memory. And with the concern from fellow Filipinos, as shown by the latest poll of SWS, the restoration and rehabilitation of the city seem to shy away from being blurry. For GNN, the Global News Network, this is My Bermudez.
Meantime, on November 23, 2009, 58 people, including 32 journalists, were killed on their way to Sharif Agwak, where Maguindanao Governor Esmael Magunda Datu was supposed to file his certificate of candidacy for the May 2010 polls. 8 years after, relatives, friends, and supporters of the victims still continue to seek justice from the incident, which was considered as the worst election-related violence case in Philippine history. In a press conference on Tuesday at the House of Representatives, Maguindanao Representative Sajid Mahuda Datu emphasized the need to resolve the cases against the alleged perpetrators, including the late Maguindanao Governor Andal Ampatuan Sr. and his sons. Victims' counsel attorney Nena Santos said only 112 of the 196 suspects have actually been arraigned and are undergoing trial and could be partially convicted next year.
So, karamihan sa defense po nakatapos na. So, we are expecting that by this December, yung main accused po na si Dato Unsay, ang patuan ay magpipresent na po ng evidence niya for his defense. Pero konti na lang po yan. I think the President should have ordered the DOJ Secretary to make a statement regarding this case kasi wala kaming narinig coming from him.
We are your voice for change. We'll keep on bringing you updates and latest stories. I'm Christy Matula. Watch for these stories on News Force.
Here are today's headlines. Armed Forces of the Philippines backs President Rodrigo Duterte's plan to classify NPA as terrorist group. President Duterte to declare revolutionary government if things go out of control. President Duterte apologizes for MRT3 inconvenience. Mindanao-based human rights group records more abuse cases in Marawi. U.S. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson calls for a return to civilian rule in Zimbabwe. Justice League leads box office but falls short of expected takings. Fair and balanced news, comprehensive reports that take you to the heart of the action. This is News Force.
Hot and stylish fashion items for women.
And the unique products for men.
Be in your top shape with health and wellness.
Grab and get with your Get Go gadgets.
Be anywhere around the world with easy travel.
Brighten someone's day with our gifts and souvenirs.
Amazing items for our precious pets.
Road safety essentials with our automotive parts.
Make your everyday living worthwhile with Home and Living.
Special gifts for our little ones and kids.
Shop anytime, anywhere.
Complete your shopping experience with our nationwide free shipping with no minimum amount needed.
Online shopping experience has never been this good with quality products and fast transactions. Easy Mall is all you need.
Easy does it.
This program is rated PG. It contains themes and scenes which may not be suitable for very young audiences. Parental guidance.
Earth's climate has changed throughout history, from Ice Age thousands of years ago to the modern climate era. There have been different cycles of glacial advance and retreat in many places of planet Earth. But climate change as we know it today is characterized by increase of Earth temperature or the global warming. People are asking why we should care. Climate scientists say human activities are largely responsible for the continued increase of average Earth temperature. Since the Industrial Revolution, the modern human activity causes the excess of greenhouse gases, trapping the heat from the sun, warming the planet. So why should we care? Because of climate change, Philippines and other countries worldwide will experience unusual phenomena over time. The El Niño that we have encountered for the past years will be even intense. The temperature of ocean and seas will rise that can affect the more powerful storm and stronger cyclones. Millions of lives that can be at risk with the coastal flooding. And because ocean absorb more carbon dioxide, the acidity of ocean will rise, harming the life of different water species. This is what we refer as ocean acidification. Why we should care? Earth is the only planet known to have life. With the life it supports, our Mother Earth is considered to be the most beautiful. We should care. Earth is home of 8.7 million different forms of life, and the human population is currently estimated at 7.5 billion. We should care. Earth provided us natural resources to improve our technology, for our living, for our benefits. We should care because there is only one Earth, one home. We should care, and we should take care of this planet.
Hi, I'm James Mackay, Chairman and CEO of Mackay Green Energy. We set this company up 5 years ago. What we looked to do, as I said to you, to bring technology to the Philippines at the time to solve your problem for the Sura. But then we looked at other projects with regards to biofuel and jobs. So we got more involved in supply. And when we brought the bannergrass here, it opened our eyes to what we can achieve in the Philippines. And by bringing the bannergrass here, we have to understand we're creating a whole new industry. So for example, as I said, we're sugar central of Asia at one time, and that's no more. But now with this bannergrass, you'll become the biocenter for Asia, where it becomes a commodity made in the Philippines, if it's from coal, if it's from charcoal, if it's from biofuel, if it's ethanol or enzymes for petrochemical. And the bannergrass loves the soil here. So my vision for the Philippines is we have permanent jobs, skilled jobs, semi-skilled jobs, so that the overseas workers don't need to go abroad. We bring us back to the province where there's real employment, where you have, like I said, you sustainable jobs. These contracts, for example, with Japan for the power plants are 25-year contracts. So the whole industry and sub-industries that will come from that creates a whole, it's a whole new industry in itself. Bannergrass is different to your Napier grass or to your Faction 1, Faction 2, is because bannergrass characteristics are different. In a sense, it doesn't like to be in the water. It likes the moisture, but not in the water. It's typhoon resistant, pest resistant, drought resistant. But the unique difference is, well, one of the unique differences, you plant it one time only. For example, in your Napier, you have to do a rotunda every 5 years, maybe 8 years or less. With banana you plant one time, and for 35 years, it's still the same crop. When you're producing coal from banana the unique characteristics are at 280 degrees, you'll be able to capture certain gases from the banana and these gases can be used to power your turbines, make electric, and then what's left then is what you call green coal. Green coal has got low ash content but purely organic. So unlike your fossil fuel, it's toxic, so you've got less 3% ash, high burning value, and at the same time you still have the feed for the crop for cattle. To produce banana you use a system called torrefaction. Torrefaction is where you put the chopped grass into a machine with the absence of oxygen. It's then with hot air, no combustion, with hot air, it's dried out at 280 degrees. At 280 degrees, you capture the gas from the banana and the byproduct which is left then is what you call green coal. So torrefaction is the key in producing green coal. Banana is, again, such as unique, because not only do you have it as a biomass to produce power, you can all make ethanol, ethanol will come from your banana all the way through to petrochemicals. Even banana carries a lactic enzyme. So these enzymes are used to make biodegradable plastic. So it's multi-purpose. That's uniqueness. So rather than use it one time only, as you'd normally do with your Napier Faction 1, use it one time only. Banana has got multi-uses. The banana, like myself, we love the Philippines. A great country, great soil, but more importantly, great people. So we're happy to be here.
Like about you, especially before we started the show, you were already talking to us about your advocacy in going green and how it became part of the corporation.
Yes, yes.
Because not many people can fit yung advocacy nila, pati yung business.
Hi guys! Gusto niyo ba kaming makita? You know what to do. Just subscribe lang sa Blade TV.
Hi there! The natural world has been always a fascinating subject for photographers. There's always something about trees, plants, and flowers that makes them so irresistible to photograph. What's great is that Nature photography is so accessible that you can even do it in your own backyard. Today, we are here to show you that nature is all around us and all you have to do is to shoot. I am Arlo Almorfe for Snapshot.
The first thing that comes in our mind when we say nature photography are plants and flowers. With landscape and wildlife, those are some of the natural elements you can capture in the great outdoors. And by outdoor, it can be literally taken as outside our door. Remember that nature is everywhere. If you don't have a backyard, or there's not much of a nature outside your home, you can wander along your area, visit nearby public parks and gardens to capture. Nature is the best background. Add subjects to your photograph and see the beauty of life coexistence, be it an animal or a person. The kinds of animals you're likely to find depends on which area you live in. Snap some photos with your friends on it. Nature provides the perfect canvas for portraiture.
Photography is one of the best ways to display our appreciation of nature. We don't need to go extreme in order to capture the beauty of the wild. If one moment you feel the craving to go green, just remember that nature is all around you. I am Arlo Almorfe for Snapshot.
In ngayon sa mga Pilipino ang paglalagay ng mga organic gardens na tulad nito, lalo na doon sa mga bahay na may kapirasong lupa o di kaya ekstrang lugar sa likurang bahay kung saan pwedeng magpatubo ng mga gulay, prutas o di kaya mga herbs and spices. Ano nga bang meron sa mga organic gardens na ito at nagte-trending siya ngayon? Bukod sa nakaka-relax at nakakatanggal ng stress ang gardening, ang pagkakaroon ng organic garden, lalo na sa loob ng inyong mga bakuran, ay sigurado na lagi kayong merong supply ng fresh and healthy fruits, vegetables, and herbs. Alam naman natin na may kamahalan ng mga organic products sa mga groceries, kaya ang paglalagay ng mga organic garden ay ang pinaka-best solution to those who want to go green and healthy this year.
Robert, anong ginagawa mo?
Oh, Izing, eto, I'm trying to learn about organic gardening, you know, all for Mother Earth.
I think that's really perfect dahil syempre trending na trending talaga yung going green. At kitang-kita kahit sa mga pants ko, may green ng konti. Dito naman sa office natin, green talaga. And actually, this is super sarap kapag gusto mo mag-relax ka tulad ng sinabi mo, maging fresh and everything. If you have plants around you, napakagaan ng pakiramdam natin, di ba? Kahit sa office, palagi natin nakikita yung mga halaman. O, di ba? Dito. Para mas fresh talagang dating.
Mas nakaka-relax ka talaga.
Actually, tamang-tama ka, Robert. Because of course, this episode sa Brand TV ay all about going green. At bakit importante ang going green? Actually, kung mahilig tayo sa mga music or movies or sa paggagawa ng tula, makikita mo na inspiration ang mga halaman. Whether it be roses, flowers, trees, everything that you see around us, Mother Nature is a part of us. And of course, mas magaan ang pakiramdam kapag may kasama kang halaman. Actually, dito sa office, palagi tayo may halaman para hindi tayo masyadong nasistress. Alam mo naman guys yan, di ba? Minsan may mga clients, mga masakit sa ulo, pero nandyan yung mga halaman para magpagaan ng pakiramdam ninyo. And of course, when it comes to Brand TV, ang dami-dami natin pag-uusapan. Mga fashion, lifestyle, what else? You have makeup, you have gadgets, you have watches, cars, almost anything under the sun. But one of the most important things that we have to talk about is actually about going green. So, sana panoorin nyo naman yung episode na ito dahil meron din tayong special guest na pag-uusapan natin ang trending ng going green at bakit maganda at hindi mahal. Sabi mo mahal, hindi siya mahal. Dahil in the long run, it's actually going to be beneficial for everybody, for all of us. So from eco-friendly bikes, we go to eco-friendly pens. And I'm actually a pen stealer, so this is so exciting to me. And we are very, very fortunate and lucky, Robert, that we have this special guest. She is actually the Vice President of Lupel Corporation, Miss Mitch Pellicer. And she's going to talk to us about uni writing instruments and how this can help Mother Nature and our going green theme.
Hi.
Hi, welcome to the show.
Welcome to Brand TV. Thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be here to be able to explain all about our products and most especially about our advocacies in Lupel Corporation.
You know what I like about you, especially before we started the show, you were already talking to us about your advocacy in going green and how it became part of the corporation.
Yes.
Because not many people can fit yung advocacy nila, pati yung business nila. Parang ang hirap minsan na i-mash or i-fuse.
Lalo na sa amin kasi we're dealing with plastic products. Ball pens are primarily made out of resins and plastics. So it was really a goal for the corporation and for the board to be able to come up with something that would be more green, because aside from being somebody who truly believes in it and our family is really into it, I kind of try to live it. At tama yung sinabi niyo, initially it seems like napakamahal talaga to go green. But actually in the long run, or even initially, it takes so very little time and it is so rewarding. And in between work, it really energizes, that's what you said, and revives you. So us at Uni Writing Instruments, Uni, by the way, is an international brand from Mitsubishi Pencil Company in Japan. They decided to come up with a whole line of eco products for every need, to suit every person, for every kind of writing that that people would want out there in the market. So over here we have products that write underwater that are made from resin and excess wood and plastic that comes out to the barrel. That's why it's green. Aside from that, some of our products are biodegradable. Our ordinary stick ball pens, which are, by the way, manufactured in the Philippines, exclusively for Filipinos, at a price na abot kayang-kaya talaga ng kahit sino, is made here. And we use almost 95 to 96% recycled plastic on the outside. Yes.
That's very interesting kasi kapag narinig natin ang plastic, palagi natin iniisip na hindi siya safe, hindi siya maganda para sa environment. Pero eto ngayon, we're recycling it, reusing it.
Yes.
And also the best thing about it is it's made local.
Yes.
But what really sparked this for you?
For us, it was basically the fact that, well, we're in the plastics industry. When you're into ball pen manufacturing, you're doing plastics. And actually in our factory, in the office, on the south side of Manila, we noticed that, you know, there's a lot of factories, everything is going gray. You know, everything is being a concrete jungle, so to speak, that became so the executives and the board decided to keep things very green within the factory and to promote that amongst our workers. And how can you really do that when you're doing plastics, right? So we have excess sometimes in our production, in the injection blow molding machine. And the president at that time decided to come up with a program in order to regrind and reuse that and come up with a very reasonably priced, competitive into the market pen na abot kaya, but still, the insides of the pen, the highest quality you can get from Japanese technology, from the writing in itself.
So basically, it's a lot of experimenting and seeing what else can we do para hindi masayang din yung mga materyales na nandito, di ba?
Kasi di ba may panukala ang gobyerno, DNR, that we have to actually report excesses and wastage in the factories. Now, in order for us to avoid any wastage and the like, we decided to reduce, reuse, and recycle everything we have within the factory. So, nagamit nga namin, and we came up with the locally manufactured pens. That took us about 5 years in a process to be able to get that. But more importantly, it's being done abroad. Yung trending dito, matagal nang ginagawa sa buong mundo.
Yun nga.
So, Mitsubishi Pencil Company in Japan, the ones who own the Uni brand, it's an international brand, like I said, accepted in 89 countries all over the world, present, has come up with higher-end products. So, this pen, for example, our Uni Power Tank, can write underwater. So, anti-baha pen siya.
Anti-baha?
Oo, pag wisikin mo lang, maliban sa it's reduced, reused, and recycled, this is made from resin, as you can see from our brochures there. And it's excess of production for pencils is put into with old plastic, and then we came up with a whole new look in the barrel. You get the look, you get the features. It writes underwater. It will write in sub-zero environments. It will write basically in snow if you want to, kahit wala tayo dito sa Pilipinas. It will even write on plastics underwater.
So, kapag yung professor mo, sinabi na bakit wala kang assignment, ay baha po, wala kaming ballpen. Ito, may ballpen na.
Meron na.
Pwede, habang may bahag, nagsusulat ka.
Aside from that, safety standards, they're FDA approved.
Of course.
They've gone through all the international checks and standards in production and the like. So you've got the best of both worlds. You have a Buy Filipino pen, made for the Filipino, and eco-friendly, and you're saving the environment, and you have a pen which has a higher standard and quality for all your needs, especially those outdoorsy people that want to climb mountains and get out there, because you know, everybody's around the computer. So what we're trying to promote is basically get out there, do something. See the environment, it changes your life. You know, it's a known fact that depression is sometimes caused by being too much indoors. You're not getting enough sun outside. So get out there, do something, and don't forget uni products and eco products that will basically not leave a carbon footprint out there.
You were mentioning a while ago computers. People get out of their computers. Now we're getting into the digital age, and where people now have laptops, tablets, phones. Now, how competitive is it now in the market? Now, you selling pens?
Even more so now, because I always tell people, your pen is your personality. Your signature is who you are. There is still not one legal document that can pass without your signature. Whether it's a checkbook, and that's why we got anti-check washing pens, by the way, that prevent you from being check fraud. And whether it's your checkbook, it is your marriage contract, your baptismal, your documents in school. Your pen, your signature is your person. Nothing passes without that. Even with the use of electronics, we still have to write. Lalong-lalo na sa panahon ng sakuna. Everything bogs down. But once you can have a pen that basically will write underwater in the worst conditions and send out your notes, your letters, your SOSs, it's still the most basic of instruments that the world still needs and will continue to do so.
It's like one of the #1 things that you need, even if you go to school. The first thing that you buy is a pen. Yung mga kaklase ko, lalo na yung mga, sabihin natin, hindi masyadong active sa klase, hindi pumapasok. Pero ang ginagawa nila palagi is meron silang ballpen, wala silang paper. Kasi ang ballpen, walang gustong humiram or magpahiram ng ballpen. It's very personal. Even me, I always have a pen with me, and I have different pens for different things.
And different tips.
Exactly.
Because sometimes you'd like something to write thicker or thinner. You like to sign with a thicker point and actually write your everyday things with a 0.5 or 0.38. In uni, we've got everything. Aside from being eco-friendly, we've got the whole line of products. We have pens that you've got one pen and it becomes 5 pens in one. So you buy one pen and you have 5 refills, all in one pen that you're holding in your bag. So you're also saving space.
Now you mentioned that you're doing your company's doing good and doing eco, and now you're mentioning that you're also actually instilling it within your
within the workforce and everybody. We have programs that basically say after work they can spend 5-15 minutes. We give them a set area for plantation, and they can plant their own vegetables, which is for the use basically of the employees. They're free
your compound,
to take it. You know, instead of just landscaping for the look and for beauty, you can landscape for something that is practical and something that they will appreciate, and they can instill into that. You don't need a lot of space to be able to go green. You can go green in a condo.
So you were talking about urban gardening, the fact that even if it's in a small area, you can still have all of these things.
Definitely. You can put up a wall, and in that wall, with simple materials and items that can be bought in the hardware, you can start your own plantation and come up with your own vegetables. That's organic, because like you said, it can be kind of costly to buy it out there. But if you grow it yourself, you don't need a lot of space. And instead of us coming up with landscaping and corporations that's just for aesthetics and beauty, you can come up with landscaping that's actually edible.
That's true. Like, I would rather have food than something to look at.
Now, they do that in Japan a lot. And the walkways and where they go, they plant lettuce, petchay, all sorts of produce. Malunggay is an easy item to plant easily as a garden hedge. Within the company, we do that.
Is that an advocacy right now that you're doing to try and help people to be to go green, even in in a condo, I say in an urban area.
Most definitely, you can make plantations on top of roofs of houses, roofs of condos, porches, and that's why the company also supports a group called the League of Orchid Conservationists. Because aside from the fact that I happen to love orchids, flowers, which you can see right here, it's Naga green.
They're beautiful.
They're gorgeous. Aside from the fact that they're gorgeous, they're very essential and important to nature. A lot of people don't realize how they contribute to the growth of trees, and we all know without trees, baha.
Yeah.
Diba? That's what it brings to us.
Also mainit.
Mainit, walang shade, baha.
Walang shade.
And then you come up with like what I was talking about, the concrete jungle. We don't end up having that. So when you're helping out orchids and conserving them, you're also going green in another way.
So it also looks pretty, but at the same time, it's practical.
Yes.
What does it take to grow an orchid? Can anybody do it, or?
Actually, anybody can learn it. I'm a businesswoman. It was something that I got into as a hobby. But for us to talk more deeply about it, I'd like to ask for your permission to invite the president of the organization, who would know more about and be able to explain better how to get orchids to grow within your garden. You have it beautiful and you're saving the environment.
Okay, perfect yan, Miss Mitch. Na-mention mo yung second guest natin na sasama tayo dito. But before that, let's take a break because I think, it might be a little information overload. Kaya break muna tayo and keep tuned as we're going to come back here on Brand TV.
Marami nagtatanong, ano ba yung coatings? Ano ba nagagawa ng coatings? Just like what they said, it protects your paint from this harmful elements.
Hi guys! Gusto niyo ba kaming makita? You know what to do. Just subscribe lang sa Blade TV.
Hi, I'm Rafika and I'm the exclusive distributor of CS2 products here in the Philippines. And what I do here is basically introduce what car paint protection products is all about, especially the coatings. As a matter of fact, CS2 is a company that deals with a complete array of auto care products, from car wash to detailing to paint protection. And now what I do is I try to introduce to the market what coatings is all about versus what we currently do, traditionally do as like detailing or car wash, which is better. So I'm trying to educate, or I'm trying to send the information to a lot of car owners here in the country to make sure that they are well informed as far as auto care is concerned, which is car paint protection. Marami nagtatanong, ano ba yung coatings? Ano ba nagagawa ng coatings? Just like what they said, it protects your paint from these harmful elements. Ngayon, hindi nila malaman ang kalimitan na coatings that we do, that a lot of companies do offer out there are either glass or ceramic. You know, these are all just names, just to let you know. It's just names. Ang pinaka-importante sa coating talaga, whatever name it may be, ang pinaka-importante sa coating is the strength of that coating. Gaano ba katibay ang coating natin? Well, depende yan. For CS2, we offer Nano 1 coatings and CS2 premium coatings. As far as CS2 premium coatings, meron kaming stage 2 coating, meron kaming glass coating, meron kaming ceramic coating, at saka the best is titanium coating. Ngayon, pagdating mo dito sa mga high-end coatings, which is ceramic or titanium, these are the coatings that really last for a long time, for years, rain or shine, and it's guaranteed. Ayan yung pinaka-importante dyan. We have to take into consideration yung warranty, that if the luster on the paint after the coating is applied goes down below 10% with the duration of that warranty, CS2 will coat your car for free. So we don't really have to be worried about whether CS2 will work or not, because for one thing, we have this warranty. Okay? Especially, to be particular, on the gloss itself. So we have different kinds of coating. Depende na yan. When it comes to coating, it all depends on the manufacturer or the auto owner. Whether yung auto owner is maingat talaga sa kotse, meron naman taong hindi naman masyadong maingat, gusto niya lang protektado yung kotse niya, gusto niya lang may peace of mind. Meron talagang tao na, since I have a Porsche, a Lamborghini, or a Ferrari, or Maserati, gusto ko talaga yun the best para sa kotse ko. And of course, at the same time, not only the strength of the coating, but also the luster. As we go up the ladder, sabi ko nga, from Nano 1 coatings to titanium coating, the deeper shine it gives for years. So, as far as coating is concerned, the higher you get, the better you get also. Ilagay natin pag to compare this sa mga kotse, iba syempre pagdating doon sa entry level, iba doon sa high end ng mga kotse. So now, I'm going to use the CS2 all-in-one compound. This is used on paints for Japanese cars. So I'm going to use this to do my paint correction. So yung isa sa mga tinatanong sa akin, yung CS2 ba environmentally friendly? Yes. As a matter of fact, CS2 is certified by ISO, and it's certified to be environmentally friendly. So wala pong problema ito na gamitin ng mga detailing shops. As a matter of fact, I'm looking for CS2 distributors around the country. Whoever may be who would like to add, not to replace whatever it is that you're currently using, but to add to your current products. We are more than welcome. You are more than welcome to give me a call and find out more information about CS2 products. Please don't hesitate to send me a message. Please ask Rafi. Either you can send me a message on Facebook, which is CS2. Ito yung CS dash Roman numeral number 2 Philippines, okay? CS-2 Philippines on Facebook or on Instagram. Or you can also send me a text my Globe number, which is 0917-711-CS2.
You know, I love the way that it sounds like a superhero league.
Yes.
A league of orchids of the Philippines. And then he said mega diversity, you see?
So what orchids are, and they're not air plants, that's a misnomer. They're not an air plant. They actually grow on the skin or the bark of the tree.
Hi guys! Gusto niyo ba kaming makita? You know what to do. Just subscribe lang sa Blade TV.
Welcome back to Brand TV, and we are just getting started in this interesting topic of going green. And we have with us the president of Lockville, Neil Maceda, who will talk about and discuss with us about all these orchids that surrounds us. It's really beautiful. Okay. But first, what is Lockville?
First of all, thank you.
It sounds very good.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you guys for having me today so that I can talk about orchids. Okay, first of all, the League of Orchid Conservationists Philippines is a small group of people who are interested on Philippine orchids. What people don't understand here in the Philippines is we are actually mega diversity of Philippine orchids. Some countries, they might have 300, 400, or 500 varieties of orchids.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
But guess how many Philippines has?
1,000?
Not even close.
What?
Yes. In the Philippines, on record, is about 1,200 wild orchids. Those are just species or varieties that you would call them.
And those are the only ones that are recorded.
Recorded.
Yeah.
And on this year alone, we have, in our group, discovered 7 more. And there are so many more in our forests that could be discovered every year.
You know, I love the way that it sounds like a superhero league.
Yes.
A league of orchids of the Philippines. And then he said mega diversity. You see? So it's kind of like...
And that actually makes us the go-to place for orchids?
Yes, actually. Here's one of the stories there that I'm just going to make a short background. The orchid in front of us is a descendant of the Waling-Waling, or in the native tongue of the Bogobo tribe is Waring-Waring.
Okay.
So in the 1800s, when this orchid was discovered, there was a huge fortune that led to finding this orchid. And then because of that, Europeans have been flocking to the Philippines secretively to get our orchids and bring it back to Europe. Because during that time, it was a part of royalty and a part of nobility for you to own an orchid. That's why for 200 years, orchidology and horticulture, especially for Philippine orchids, was a big thing. And unfortunately, some of us here in the Philippines have really no idea of what we have, and that's the sad part.
Because they take it for granted. Ang dami natin nakikitang orchids. And then ngayon, they're like, oh, okay, it's nothing too fancy. Pero dun sa ibang bansa, they
At ang
really
worry
hide
natin
it.
ngayon is marami na kasing nauubos. So the whole point of the organization, of the League of Orchid Conservation, is to be able to identify and at the same time come up with breeding, to be able to breed them so that people can have them and accumulate them and have them, if they want to acquire them, from proper breeding facilities and farms rather than taking them from the wild and sending them back to where they came from so that they can take care of the environment the way they were meant to be.
It's not a joke trying to grow these orchids. As growing up, I've seen my mom grow orchids. But, it doesn't last long in our area. But how did you get into this, and how can one actually grow these kinds of orchids? You said there's more than 1,000 types of orchids, 1,200 here in the Philippines.
It's actually, there are no mysteries to it, and that's just the point. Part of Lockfield's mandate is to educate people. You can, I mean, I'm a businesswoman and a housewife, and I'm growing them. These came from my garden. So if I can do it, anybody can. It's a matter of information, knowing how, and then how to take care of them. By the way, it's a misnomer that they don't last long, because these flowers can last up to 2 weeks when they're live, like in this state. So they're better than cut flowers. And on top, when they're done, you take them out, put them back in your garden, and next season you've got another bloom from the same plant.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's a lot of things that I myself have learned through the organization. So I would like to be able to encourage people to go green in whatever way they want. In my case, and in the case of the group, we love flowers, we love orchids. So we decided to be able to support the environment because, like I said, trees are highly affected by orchids.
Yeah. So they're like their partners.
Definitely. So we partner with the League of Orchid Conservationists. Neil has become a very close friend, and everybody else on the group. And we're part of an education campaign, which UNI is also there for. We educate.
How do you say it's a partner of trees?
Yes.
Why would you
Paano
say
siya naging
that? Paano siya naging partner?
Okay. What people don't understand about orchids is they have this way of balancing out on the skin of the tree because they're called epiphytes. In Latin, that means growing on the skin. So what orchids are, and they're not air plants, that's a misnomer. They're not an air plant. They actually grow on the skin or the bark of the tree. Now, the health of the tree is dependent on its bark also. So during the rainy season, fungus will accumulate on all of those nooks and crannies. And what actually the orchid does is it balances it out by feeding on some of those fungus and preventing it from proliferating. So by removing those epiphytes in orchids, it could actually shorten the life cycle of a tree, or the lifespan of a tree rather. So by having all of those orchids growing on a tree and leaving it there in the wild
where they belong,
could actually lengthen the lifetime of the tree, maybe 200, 500 years old. And sometimes those orchids could be as old as that.
Really?
Yes.
So in being able to preserve something that is so naturally beautiful.
Yeah.
And you're still helping the environment. And we're always complaining dito sa metros, within Metro Manila, sa baha. It's because we don't have enough trees.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So if you're preserving something as gorgeous as an orchid, you're helping out trees and what we have left and what we've planted. And basically what can happen is you're helping out the environment. You're going green in your own little way while enjoying.
You look prettier.
Exactly.
Like all of these flowers
and you're enjoying
everywhere.
something.
Diba?
And on top, to find out and to understand, which I learned from the org, was basically you've got 1,200 identified from endemic, meaning only found in the Philippines.
Now, for something like what we see here, how long does it take for an orchid to be this?
Optimally, between 4 to 6 years.
4 to 6 years?
Yes. And a very mature plant can take 8 to 10 years before they start blooming in some cases.
Now, what kind of care does an orchid need to
Not
last that long?
complicated. Actually, that's what I learned as a businesswoman that got into the advocacy, because that was my thing. I learned from that, and many of we're very blessed that we have the foremost knowledgeable Philippine taxonomist as a mentor in the group, Mr. Jim Coots.
Yes, he's the one who started the group.
Yes, he's the one who started, one of the ones who started the group, and he's known worldwide. And basically, the only care it takes is you've got to have the right environment. Trees are optimal, they would be the best. The right care, the right feeding, fertilizer, and water. Basically, what it would get out in the wild. And since we do grow them in the metro, you might need some help when it comes to the fungus and the like. So there are certain things naturally that you can be able to do and put into it so that it can prevent it from destroying an orchid. But once you know the basic elements, which by the way, they teach in Orchidology 1 through their mentor, Mr. Ray Ong, and many other members who are well known in the industry, and their partnership with the Philippine Horticultural Society.
How big is your group, and what kind of information drive or teaching do you do?
Well, it all started with a Facebook page.
Digital.
And, yeah, digital, believe it or not. Because as you can see, orchids are very visual.
Yes.
So in order for you to get attention and also support, you need to keep on posting pictures.
Yes.
And then once we have noticed that the people were just interested about the flowers and not really about the identity of the orchid, that's where Jim Coots approached the group and said, why not you help me educate these people? By the way, Jim Coots, as you would notice from his name, is not a Filipino. He's actually an Australian. He is a retired postmaster that got assigned here to the Philippines. And during the time that he's been traveling, he fell in love, and especially our orchids. Now, Mr. Coots has taught us all of the knowledge that he has. Actually, he has 3 books out in the market. I'm sorry I didn't bring it today.
It's fine.
Those books are a treasure trove of his knowledge on
For
Filipinos. And he's doing it for the future of the Philippines, which are the kids.
Thank you so much, Miss Mitch, and of course, Mr. Neil. You're giving us so much information about being eco-friendly in the simplest of ways. And if you guys want to learn more, all you got to do is check out their Facebook pages. For Uniball, it's just Uniball Philippines. And of course, for the Lockville, it's League of Orchids Conservationists, right?
Yes.
Conservationist Philippines, if you want to learn more and ask them more questions.
Well, I wish we had more time, but that's all we have for now. See you next week for another episode of Brand TV.
No signal? Check the power and connection between the IRD and the TV set. For G Pinoy, make sure to set your TV setting in AV mode, then connect RCA wire and other connections properly. For HD, if your TV setting is in HDMI mode, use and connect HDMI wire instead of RCA, then followed by other connections. But if it is set to AV mode, use RCA wire. Then press Menu, Information, Channel Information. Check the display of the signal strength and quality. If no signal quality and strength display in the manual mode, refocus the satellite. Before doing the refocusing of the satellite, check the weather condition. Heavy rains and heavy clouds can also interrupt satellite signal transmission. If weather is good, you can start the signal fine-tuning. Fine-tune the signal by monitoring the signal strength and quality on your TV. Once achieved, the best signal level scans all channels. Now, you can start viewing GSAT's quality program wherever you are. For other inquiries, please contact your local dealer or call GSAT hotline number 882-9999 or use our mobile phone numbers 0998-593-5986, 0998-996-4728, 0999-990-4728, 0925-800-3429, 0922-831-4728, 0917-835-8002, 0917-810-4728.
Ba't ang sarap maging malaya? Makakagala ka kung kailan mo gusto. Makakapag-surf ng mga bagong ideya. Sky's the limit, ika nga. Pero sa totoo lang, malaya na nga ba talaga tayo? O nagpapalit-palit lang na mukha yung mananakop? Dahil ang pagiging malaya ay hindi lang nakikita sa kakayahan mong magreklamo ng hindi nakukulong, sa kapasidad mong makuha ang bago o makasakay sa uso. Ang tunay na paglaya ay nasa pagkakaroon ng malawak na kamalayan, sa kakayahang umunlad ng hindi naman nalulumpo sa kakatrabaho, sa kakayahan mong makasabay pagdating sa oportunidad. Be all you can be ayon sa mga kano. Dahil kung sila ay may American dream, tayo dapat meron din. Pero bakit parang ang pag-unlad sa atin ang hirap matamasa? At kung madali, bakit parang nakalaan lang sa iilan? Saan nga ba nadiskaril ang dapat sana ay tuluyan nating paglaya? Yung sama-sama. Eh kung tutuusin, nagkaroon naman tayo ng magandang simula nang umigpaw ang kamalayang Pinoy. Nagising tayo sa katotohanang meron tayong iisang lahi, iisang bayan, na tayo ay Pilipino at atin ang Pilipinas. Yun nga lang, mula doon, iba-iba na naging diskarte. Nagsasama-sama lang muli tayo, nagkakaisa ng damdamin pag may kalaban. Sa hinaba-haba ng kasaysayan, pagkatapos maitawid ang ipinaglalaban, kanya-kanya na muli